their chances elsewhere. We've theorized about teams at that 27-0 mark against Astralis, potentially having that problem. But we start out on Overpass, and we start out with Device getting aggressive with the USP. Makes contact, and he'll immediately fall back toward the site as a result.
Here we go then. It will be Navi getting some basic mid control here. You can see it's going to be major actually. Device falling back from middle there. Falling right back towards the bomb site, and Zipex is trying to get information towards Monster. There's one smoke, one Molotov available here for Navi as they start to rotate potentially back towards B. They've got connector control here, and the Molotov will be enough for the barrels. You smoke in front of the site, and then it's down to the pure fragging potential. Navi have got that in buckets and spades, but so is Glaive, and he's ready on short and detected a few players on the other side.
Zipex still waiting for the chance to catch off anyone going toward the monster tunnel, but Simple's got the shot and set. The first kill of the finals goes to the man who's likely going to be at the hand of quite a few of those throughout this game. It is Dupree to respond. Magisk still on the mound as well, watching to see if anyone will cross in. So far, no one will. And Magisk still just waiting around. Has to swing out to get aggressive. Bomb's already gone down. Very passive plan for Sandbags, but Magisk finds two toward the pillar. Device on rotation coming out in the flank has already found Zeus and Edward. If his plan was to hold short and peek the defuse, he's got a big problem ahead of him. But he finds two, and they're not on the defuse, which means now he actually can pull around back. Looks for the headshot of Magisk, and he won't land it. So close, yet so far, Magisk finds 3 kills.
The defuse will come in. They got a little bit scary for them there. They lost the first pick. The B site is open, but still, Astralis, the kings of retake, able to hit their headshots. Magisk, especially with pinpoint accuracy of the USP, holds them up for long enough for the rotations to come through, and he saw them so precise at that point. It's Astralis defending against Edward in a 4 versus 1. He got 2 of them with great shots there. It could have fallen apart, but Magisk calm in the end still, closes it out. We get to the second round 4 spot here. Remember the extra cash injection now. You get the $1,900 with 800 on top of the plant. They get a couple of AKs here. You have to distribute the wealth out, drop those AKs. It will leave players like Zeus without armor, but it's worth it. You've got, to be fair, Edward with the AK, like Electronic with that second AK, but Simple more importantly. We'll see if Edward can open things up. Certainly can. He'll get the first, and now will there be a response from Astralis here? They have one more player waiting towards long.
Solid shot from Edward yet again. We saw in the pistol how close he was, despite that they got the defused. Found the kill on him from Jace. Dupree in the corner, very far in the corner. Not often you get someone pushed out quite that far on an angle, and it works to find 2. Simple does get the response, and we fall to 3 aside. MP9 Scout M4 versus AK UMP Deagle. You could argue the range is fairly level between those, given the Deagle can certainly be a problem, but Zeus is even going to upgrade onto the AK. It's that gun that has the accuracy, and the man to wield it, Device, more than capable of hitting the headshot, takes Flamey down.
Well then, Astralis take the advantage once more. Simple there with the smoke. They've both got AK-47, and Zeus with no armor makes it incredibly difficult. He spots one behind the APC, trying to flash in his teammate. Didn't actually deploy, but the smoke is down, but there is a gap. Zeus will try and exploit that, make his way towards the side. They still need to try and get this bomb down, but first the kill has to come through. Zeus battling tooth and nail a Simple plant. He's done a good job, and now they've got a post-plant situation.
Simple pushing aggressively. Finds Device on the back stairs. Brings it down immediately to a 2-on-2, and now the favor with them because no kits. A single smoke for Zipex, but he's on the MP9, and they've got 2 AKs to confront. Zeus is low enough HP that MP9, even at range from the back stairs, can still take him down very quickly. Zeus times his slide out to perfection. 1-on-1 with Zipex. Mechanics favor him, but Simple's got the aim.
There we have it, Navi, a team known to force fight. They have the opportunity. That certainly was one. A couple of AKs, they get the first pick. It's Dupree to answer back though, that nice long position. It comes down to a 3-on-2 in Astralis' favor. You think they're gonna close that one out, but I have to say, Zeus, he didn't find kills on the defense of the plant, but he showed so much presence. He allowed someone to get in position so he could make plays like this, do what he does best, and start hitting headshots. Zipex didn't stand a chance there. We go 1-1, and is there a force fight in response? There is. 4 players fully invested. Device will save $1,000, and now it's up to the AKs and indeed the Galil and UMPs to hold off an Astralis defense here. But we know they're incredibly versatile with these CZs. They can treat these like gun rounds, especially with the few smokes they have.
Electronic will back off. Wanting to get a nade in, he will eventually find an angle he seems to like more. Actually, in front side of the barrel, so wouldn't have done anything to anyone that was standing there. They'll slow the pace considerably. Astralis left with little. Certainly no defensive utility that's used on both sites. They've only got Dupree with the smoke who's being aggressive. He'll use that now to hold off mid after finding the open pick, potentially try and get a gun from that, but Flamey through the smoke before that bloomed.
Nice work from Flamey. Gets in front of the smoke before it becomes an issue. Device, well, Dupree I should say, didn't see it coming. And now Edward using that rifle. Remember, he is alone here, but luckily no CT presence whatsoever, really. That's all towards there. We've got one player rotating in. It will be Device. He has no armor, but he has got the Desert Eagle. Is it going to be enough? I would suggest no. It's going to take an absolutely stunning shot here to find anything at all as they encroach in his position. He holds on towards A, presence from middle, and indeed towards long. There's the armor being a factor. He gets tagged up to 19 HP, and that should be the round. I don't see a world as if they can really hold them off here. Simple confirms it. Mages, we know he's good with the Deagle, but not quite good enough here. Nice clean round from Navi. They fend off the force fight. Should be full eco next.
And a good start. They did get swept 16-2. They got swept under the rug by MIBR in the final round. We were actually one round away from Cloud9's side of not even having them in this final. It would have been Cloud9 on a tie with Astralis playing against them right now. That's how close it was to decide the final spot. With that said, at 16-2, they had a little bit more time off. Sure, they were sitting there tensely waiting to see if they were even going to make it here, but they were resting.
Sure.
So does that change anything? Because right now shots are certainly on. They've already accomplished as many rounds as they did against the American core of MIBR.
We did speculate earlier what we thought would be the most compelling grand final, where Astralis locked in. We did say it'd be Navi. Headshots coming through here, full ecos. They can work out. That ding towards Simple removes them from the equation somewhat.
I think that was actually a double dink at that point in time as well, because he goes down to 16, in fact 2 HP at this point from that range. Passionate Portuguese crowd in the background. And now Caster's getting a little bit hyped up. To hear all of the sound effects, but we've got Molotov to ramp. That's going to give Zeus a bit more access to the site. Certainly forces the hand of Xyp9x. He's got to back down in toward the pit, but window covered off. Magisk finds the shot at range, does further damage onto Zeus. He's on 46. So far, so good in terms of damage from Astralis, but 54 seconds left. Now the AKs come to play. Electronic able to slide in, makes contact, but he's dinked as well. 2 and 7. This is a full eco from Astralis. And although there's 5 alive, it becomes a bit of a problem if they're not careful here, because Astralis can start to get the lineups.
See if that happens here. It looks to be a Navi round, as Simple and Zeus will confirm that indeed. Just Dupree, who holds on, and you are completely right. That was a full eco. No investment whatsoever. They forced in the previous round. And it's going to be 3-1 Navi and Astralis. Yes, they can buy next round, but it still will be weak. But remember, Device did keep that extra $1,000 when his teammates went for the full all-in purchase. So he should be able to get the orb still. It just won't be a complete buy. If you've got a UMP or a Galil, like Edward and Simple do, you might be quite happy to keep those. There's a very high likelihood not all 5 players will helmets it, if any of them. So there we go. Will Astralis go for an aggressive play? We've talked about Device and his assertiveness and dynamic rounds every single game we cast of him, but now more than ever, he probably needs to present one of those. They won't have a kit here. You can see the lack of utility, not a single incendiary purchased, and him being glass cannon, sure, he can't be super aggressive, he can't push off short, but he can go for an initial pick perhaps. We'll see what he wants to do here. As he waits in the corner, looking for anyone crossing over towards Party right now. Dupree, with the initial bit of utility, will fall back. And they're not going to go for that initial play, just holding up to see if Navi are aggressive here.
Boost on top of the slide as well. That gives a bit more vision toward the front side of bathrooms, but they'll back off of that. They're right about the head armor. Glass cannon as well for Device. So all in from Astralis with Inferno, excuse me, with Cash money coming up next. Overpass is almost a must-win for Astralis just to guarantee them to have a 3-map series. If they fall on this and then suddenly they realize, oh wait, Navi's actually practiced Cash and get caught off, we could have a 2-game series for Navi.
That was my rationale coming in. So we have to remember that's pure speculation. That could be them just saying, you know what? They might not expect. We'll just run around as a group.
2 evils, perhaps.
Exactly. They might not have played it at all and just don't want to play Nuke, be demoralized by having another rot against Astralis in that map. But here we go. The commitment, it's a scrappy one towards B, but Xyp9x, he'll burn alive first. Great shot from Electronic. As that's the B bomb site cracked wide open at this point. 3 players remaining, and remember, no kits here, Matt. Unless Glaive can find 2 very quick kills right now, there's no chance that it's retake. It might not even be worth considering.
Double tap toward the backside of the entrance of Monster, but gotta be careful as well if they push through the smoke. Edward's still there. Glaive, he's pretty much completely antithesis side of it as he wants to try and jump across. He will get up above, drops down. Edwards falling back toward the sandbags. That's a kill. Dupree with 19 tries to get away without being sprayed. Device will hold on to the AWP as well. It's going to go 4-1. Again, no money for Astralis. Fantastic start on the T side for Navi.
That's the sort of round you want to present when you know the money's weak on the CT side. You can go for these little executions and these 5-man gambits towards the bomb site because they don't necessarily have a head armor like we talked about when you've got a UMP and Khalil, or the incendiary. That's more important. If you go up in a 5-man execution, you can go in at the same time. Sure, some smokes might be down, but they're not force fills like the incendiaries are. So that's a really nice call. Calculated from Navi, hitting the great shots as well as what we want to see from Electronic as he completely dismantles the defense. It is going to be 4-1, but a device AWP is saved, along with a Dupree rifle. We saw it on Inferno in the previous game. If device AWP Dupree, he had an AK and 4 USPs, they still won the round. So this is not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination, and that's why a tactical timeout will be called right now. Both teams happy to discuss their options at this point. If you're Navi, do you take a gamble, go for a rush B? It's unlikely the device AWP is there. Or do you go for a default and risk him picking you off one by one? What do you want to play here? That's why it's worth just talking about it right now. This is the grand final. Navi are the defending champions. They can't afford to make any mistakes against Astralis. Give them an inch and they will take a mile every single time. It's going to be interesting to see what device will bring to the table here at the beginning of this round. He's got a great spawn as well. We can see on our screens right now. He's right at the front of the pack. Let's see if we can follow him and see what he's up to. Does he want to try and get that first kill or want to hold back and be a little bit more tentative like we saw before?
Aggressive from Dupree and Device. Started off, they'll get him pushed out toward the bench position, jumping for him. Rather than trying to hold an angle for the shot. Wants to know if it's crossed. Edward on top of the slide as well, looking the other direction, but the tree prohibits each from seeing the other. And Device will back away, rightly so, without any information. Brings Dupree back his direction as well, because he started to rotate off, much like Banana Natu said it last week at Pro League. Much like Banana, you can hold long and then actually get an early rotation to support your B side. That's all changed. Magisk even comes back as well to play on the A site. Now rotate one to window, leave Xyp9x alone, and Navi slowly but surely is actually heading toward that A position. So Device, bathrooms with an AWP, he's going to rely on information from Dupree.
1 minute mark comes in. Barely any map control from Navi so far. They're just about getting towards long here, but Device in a perfect position to bathrooms. Dupree, remember, he's got that rifle as well. They focused all the firepower here towards A, and it might not last too long as Edward will find the first.
Yeah, he didn't see him. He didn't know he was against the wall, so he didn't have time to react. Now, Device has problems, but he's got Glaive to protect one side. He realizes it, looks back to long. Shadow shows, remember, towards bathroom. His Device has to be so silent and so sure of his shot on the AWP. He's got a bit of aggro pulled away, but Simple knows what that means. He's not going to overcommit to the shot all the way back toward the flowers because he's well aware the AWP is still in the bathrooms. Instead, he plays an angle that isolates, baits the shot from the right, and he knows exactly what he's doing. 5-1 Navi.
That is unbelievable. Simple had to get the team on his back at that point. They were dropping like flies and he could see it. He felt the round crumbling. He had to dig so deep for that one. It looked like Device and his teammates had locked him in. The pincer maneuver was absolutely spot on. But look at this play. Jumping around the corner, baits out the shot. The preemptive spray towards the bathroom. It's absolutely everything. And he's not even happy about it, Matt. He's just like, you guys shouldn't be dying. I'll have to do it, but let's not make that mistake again.
So well played. He read that perfectly. He knew exactly what they wanted to get from the AWP, and he would not allow it at all. Guns back again this time for Astralis. Device once more has the op. And this time with some armor to go along with it, as opposed to the last gun round that was glass cannon. Head armor as well for Glaive, Xyp9x, Magisk. That's something they've not had, but it matters less this time, given that they're against all AKs and one Krieg for Zeus. Electronic revealing that he's in the short term. Might catch himself off as he runs back toward Magisk. I'm not sure Magisk was quite so ready for him to be there.
Great shot all the same. He gets the opening pick and will fall back safely. 19 HP, you can see Zeus trying to convert that damage by spamming in vain at this point towards the wooden boards. He's got the Krieg in hand. Remember, we're seeing a lot of these in-game leaders pick up the scoped weapons. It's a bit of a trend here. We want to kind of get a bit more information on that, see if it is a real improvement. But either way, it's Device now. He will be defending towards the A side. Sort of solo. He has got Dupree right down there and long as well. Can't really back him up in this particular scenario, but he might not need the help. Great shot to open things up.
Tries again to go to the front side of the bathrooms as well, firing through the double boxes. 2 down. That's just 1. Simple finds the Jisk. Device is low enough as well, but he's also on the AWP, which is a factor. Smoke's going in as they are. They could boost above that. Toward the dumpster, touchdown on Simple. He had nowhere to go in Device. There you go. He catches actually the nade from the man he previously killed. Flamey gets him from the grave, but it's all onto Zeus, and I think he's aware that Dupree's in the corner. Dupree likewise is aware that he's at home. They're both fully blind, and they're both out of ammo. Awkward exchange, but it won't matter. With 10 seconds left, the round is over. Zeus just has to try and survive.
He's going down after the timer, boys. They know it. That's why he's actually challenging now, because he wants to die. It sounds weird. Don't kill him yet. Now you kill him. Perfect. That's what he wanted to do.
Zeus doesn't go back to the corner at that point.
I don't know. But that's exactly what Astralis want to do. That might not seem like a huge detail, but that's massive. It means Zeus gets no cash going forward, but at the same time, they had a nice reservoir, so not a massive deal.
Yeah, massive reservoir, in fact, if you want to look at Flamey on 10K. 11K for Simple. They've built up a huge surplus, a massive lead at 5-2. Astralis as well. This would be a potential reset. They've only won the pistol, and then we're immediately beat by the force buy.
There it is, lovely grenade from Glaive. Solid A defensive was Device, holding more defensive lines. You can see as the game continues and the round develops, he took damage after finding the opening pick. He has to go very defensive at that point and play off his teammates, allows to be baited in. He holds the CT steps and starts hitting the shots, timing it well, and using the communication to make sure he's in the right place at the right time. He's got the B spawn this time. We talk about the way he can approach every single round in a different manner. He can be boosted towards B, he can challenge Monster, he can go in that connector. You can never predict where Device will be. And this is where the timeout comes in now. Navi need to work out what their play is going to be. How can they avoid the power of Device? He was weak last week in the grand final, but you can never discount him. Always going to be a threat. And we'll see him head towards that B bomb site. Does he want to go for the first pick or just hold a defensive line towards Monster? And it's going to be holding heaven for now, at least. He's looking for that four-man stack.
He's looking toward it. He knows the timing. I mean, there's no harm in looking that direction. They're not going to be in the B site that quickly. So in the off chance they go for the boost, he actually gets a free kill. It's kind of clever, in a way.
Well, he just took a timeout, so why not?
Xipix has been beat twice now in that position on the left side of the grave, and he falls to Electronic this time, trying to spray in first. More pressure onto the Jisk. You can see his anticipation as he tries to move back over. Smokes down, front side of Monster, allows him to enter further, so he actually wants to play all the way back toward the grill. Dupree, door open, that's a gift. Zeus, I think, was completely unaware that hole existed.
Yeah, there's not really much he can do about that, unless he has that information. You assume it's fine. But it will still be a 4-on-4. Not for long, though. Flamey, he'll be offered up a kill for free.
I was going to say, you give and take, get what you give. He walks down and has no idea Flamey is likewise in a position to capitalize, so Astralis, once again, find themselves a man down 47 seconds, and map control is all to the taking of Navi at this point in time, even with Edward pushing toward long. Ooh, I think Device had that spawn in there. Molotov down a bit early, because he wants to focus his attention toward the bathrooms, but identifying the fact that the op's on A, not even going to challenge it. Back over toward B. However, op on A, 2 on B. Crossfire set, but just has to be perfect on Monster. Glaive, oh, that's a clever nade. Bounce it right over the ledge. They know he's likely waiting just beyond vision, staying away for the Molotov. Majest, he's got one, he goes down. Device is found on rotation immediately, so with Glaive inside of the site, they have to worry about. He's inside of the smoke. Shots will rain out and give his position away. And allows Electronic to find a 6th, and again, that's going to be a reset.
A harsh one at that. Really nice calls here from Navi. I definitely criticized them last week, saying that their theory side of their game, their mid-round calls look weak, but that was actually spot on. They managed to get it to an equal playing field and trade out some frags towards Connector, recognize the fact with 3 players surviving, they're going to be weak somewhere. It was actually 2 players they ran into towards B. It got very awkward in this scenario, but Electronic's feeling it right now. 3 kills for him in the round, and Glaive, sneaky play in the smoke, but it doesn't yield a round victory. We're going to see a full eco here from Astralis. Some deagles. Actually, to be fair, I guess it's the partial buy, you can call it, with a bit of Kevlar. There's no grenades, so should be a Navi round. We'll see if it transpires in that fashion. Remember, the defending champions are going to be the first team ever to get back-to-back, or 2 trebles.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what's on the line here. SK, Astralis, and Navi have won the 3 previous Blast Pro Series events in Copenhagen, Istanbul, and then Copenhagen again this year. This would be, the winner of this would become the first double Blast champion. Kind of like being a double-barreled shotgun.
It's exactly like that.
That's not, don't appease it. Electronics sneaking in, doing straight contact toward the window position. Zeus still trying to fire off. Spotted one, but won't be able to get a shot. Perhaps intimidation enough to keep him at bay. Never mind that we've got that boost, but still out toward water position, toward construction. Not been spotted. Maybe a surprise for them. Glaive gets found, Electronic, good shot, catches him jumping back down. Bomb will be planted now, so Simple at this point knows he's lurking for free kills. He'll get Device. It puts us at a point where we can also start to look at that kill distribution as Edward finds Magis. There's the one for Zippix. They find something at least on the Deagle, but he'll go down. Dupree, his Deagle always finds something, and it's going to be Simple that he gets. 10 kills for Simple leads the way. Edward sits on 8. He's been talked about recently as someone who needs to step up again if Navi want to find a way forward.
Yes.
In the results, Dupree leads the way. As I say it, he's actually going to make this very expensive for Navi. He leads the way for Astralis by getting 9 kills now with those two on top.
7-2. Remember, this is the T side for Navi as well. Certainly considered to be a CT map at this point, and the money still isn't fantastic. They invested with Deagle armor there, Matt, and they've got average maybe 3.5K per player. Dupree, even less than that. He's just purchased a Deagle. They're taking another eco here at this point. This is going to give potentially 8-2 to Navi. I say that with bated breath because I know Astralis can always do something at these sort of rounds, but statistically speaking, Navi should pick this one up no problem. And we'll see a 4-man stack towards the B bomb site here from the Danes. Will this be anything? I'm not so sure. They're flashing over towards Monster right now. Doesn't do much for them because Electronic's playing so passively. He confirms they're on eco with that sort of push, and we're just holding a very defensive angle now.
Very defensive, just going behind the fence, even in case anyone wants to walk upstairs. Does get an angle on Magis. Further kill, as we saw on Dupree by way of Flamey. Zippix down, Device. Thought he might find a double headshot as Electronic didn't quite have the angle, but slides out nonetheless to get the kill on the AK. Glaive now left with a CZ. And we'll see if he can find the fourth one. So Flamey closes out the round. We go 8-2, and that's pretty, I have to say, remarkable at this point in time. You really have to imagine Astralis, they're going to call the timeout, but they're desperate at this point to get rounds on the board.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit bleak for them. Remember, yes, it is cash next. We need to discuss that a little bit more. Sure, it's cash, but Navi had a 1-week boot camp before Pro League. We didn't see them float cash there at all. Is there any chance that they've gone for a liquid play here, and the surprise pick there? They've got something. It's considered a weak map for Astralis. There are some guys on Twitter discussing the idea of Inferno is the safer pick. Cash is an unknown quantity. You don't have information. You don't have any data on them. Why risk it? Why allow it to happen? If Overpass does go wrong for you and you go in feeling like you're a little bit lost, you don't know what you're up against, that could be a massive downfall here. Now, yes, we're talking a little bit ahead of time, but Navi look on course to take this map right now if they keep this up. This timeout is going to be everything. What's Astralis going to do with it? Once again, no kits. Device, 6 kills to his name. No one really running away in the fragging on the Astralis side. And we'll go towards the B bomb side with the sniper once again. Is he going to go for the aggressive pick towards Monster? Doesn't look like it. Waiting for a B contact play with the looks of things.
Edward, the first to arrive at the position at Monster. Twice with a closer angle this time on the AWP. Down inside of the site by Peller, trying to play on the back of Magisk, who's already covering off short form. And then on top of that, they've got Glaive. It's a bit of a sequence. Everyone's position based on the other. Simple's gonna get Device though, waiting with an off outside Monster.
Yeah, that's a big pick.
This is clever. This is a great overpass so far from Navi. This is Navi's choice, remember that. It's not like we have Astralis being strangers on this map, but we talk about it. We see them against Liquid on this all the time. We talk about the fact that they're capable of winning it as well. And it's the unknown entity. I mean, we've seen them now in 2 consecutive weeks be tricked a little bit by a veto, perhaps.
5 versus 4. Remember, no kits here, but they still have incendiaries and smoke on the CT side. This is not done just yet. Magis picks up the orb. He is actually very handy of the weapon. He knows he needs to find a frag here, holding towards shore, but they're going nowhere near that side of the map. It's going to be an A execution here. 40 seconds remaining as these smokes being lined up as CT steps, and indeed the bank, they'll be deployed momentarily. That smoke towards the end of long doesn't actually do a whole lot. That gap allows the team to make their way through, but the incendiary will slow them down. They need frags here. They can't sit back in defensive position, and Dupree knows it. Has to find kill as he lines one up, takes one down, but an instant trade comes in. Zeus will take a Zippix, and the smokes are spot on here. Dupree stifled on the bomb side, but Magis does find one back, and there it is, the spray down from Glaive. It denies absolutely everything, and 3 players survive. What looked like a very difficult scenario for them actually works out tremendously well in the end. They were battling behind the smoke still, and Magis on that secondary orb seems like he's still got a few more shots left in him.
It works. It pays off. The double op setup gets Astralis round number 3. They've got it again. They're going to try and hold on to this one because, again, they've been reset at every possible chance. I say possible chance. Pistol's not really a reset, but they lost the ensuing force buy, and then they were reset on rounds 7 and 8. 3 rounds this time after their last. Consistent here. Need to build up some cash. Edward swinging back around with Navi already accumulating a win on the half and on a CT-sided map. Give or take.
Double orb set up for the first time.
So Glaive waiting for it, wants to make sure that they can see to work construction. No jump at Sandbag's Formagisk. He actually just goes for the straight wall bang toward the door instead. Electronic, aware of that, tries to find his own opening. We see this bait position in bathroom before. dupreeh has to commit to staying there. If he steps out too soon, if the op's not taking the aggro, he actually gives himself up, so he's got to be very careful. Gun barrel shows as well, so timing is everything.
This is the first opportunity Astralis have had to break the bank of Navi. If they get reset again here, I'm not sure there's much left in the tank for the rest of this half. This round is absolutely massive. Astralis for the first time, like we said, double orbs. Glaive normally brings it out when things get a bit desperate for them.
And that flash to clear the connector, it's confirmation for Device that he can just stare in this direction. He does not have to worry about the door. dupreeh has that covered instead. There's not an angle by which it overlaps and they can see, but a flash off. dupreeh has to step out momentarily to try and keep the angle against Electronic. He'll get one. Backs into the wall and out comes Device once more. He's nailed it as well. It's a perfect setup. It's by design and it is to perfection as they get Zeus walking in front. Edward realizes the problems and they'll back away from long immediately. Bomb is down in the front of bathrooms. And you're right, this is a reset potential, so how much is at stake for Astralis? And how much can they risk on the Navi side? dupreeh's going to give himself up to Simple.
10 seconds remaining. That confirms the round for Astralis, and it looks like they'll only drop one player as well. That is very good news. They need to keep decent numbers up here to really get themselves back in this game. Simple is terrifying in the bathrooms, but Device, he isn't scared whatsoever. He'll take him down right at the end there, and that's a huge pickup. They can't afford to reinvest their AWP. They can probably scrape together somewhat of a buy of the AK. Without the Simple orb, it's a lot less scary at this point. So tactical timeout potentially coming in here. We'll see. They are discussing their options. You can see tension starting to get a little bit higher there in the Navi camp.
And that whole round really weighed on dupreeh's kill. The fact that he's able to step out and get Electronic, so Device knows he can get back to that angle, and then suddenly dupreeh goes back to where he was originally watching. If he goes down there, this kill, if that goes the other way, Device can't repeat that with the same level of confidence to know for sure that he's got the angle. And that opens up the front door, which means Device gets caught potentially in transition back to the site, even if he wins the first pick.
It's so clever. You see dupreeh gets that first kill. All of a sudden, he just watches the left entrance at that point. Device waits for the trade, and if they nail all their shots, it's actual poetry in Counter-Strike. It looks so good and funnels them out of the bomb site. Nothing can be done. It's 8-4. Astralis are very used to this position by now. They enjoy a comeback, it seems. Even in grand finals, they always find themselves on the back foot. They're slowly getting back into it now. Like we said, it's the tactical timeout for Navi as they compose themselves and work out what they can afford to purchase here. It's only Simple that hasn't spent any money. He goes for Deagle, armor, and the grenades. They have fully invested into round number 13, trying to steal back the momentum here. Zeus gets a last-minute UMP, and Device going for that first pick. We haven't seen any of these opening kills be successful just yet. Flashbang to the face, but he avoids it. And now, will he find anything at the start? Detects movement towards our playground. All that boost, we've seen it a few times. Doesn't get them the kill.
Smoke down at Monster. Xyp9x will push up. M4 still to work with. dupreeh, meanwhile, will get at the bottom of the stairs just to make sure no one's going to wrap back around toward the bathrooms. That gives confidence naturally to Device once again on the AWP. So those two working in tandem. Oh, Glaive. Spotted but couldn't land. Backside showing as well. I think he just saw a texture. Didn't take the time to ascertain that it was the back and went for the fastest shot he possibly could.
Yep, that really was a bit of a sitter by that standard, but still, Device, he's hitting absolutely everything still. Takes down Simple, and that's a key scout to find.
Oh, I didn't actually tag Flamey, but not aware that he could see him before that as the smoke was still in position. Electronic contact on B. Knows Glaive's also behind the barrels and wants to try and flush him out as well, and he's going to do exactly that. Double headshot on entry. Now can hold off as he jumps up toward the window. Electronic is absolutely static electricity at this point in time. And he's certainly making Astralis seem static. They're not doing anything to try and distill him from the site. They walk in once again, but the bomb is over toward long. So there's no access onto B. The fact that it's a 4-on-2 nonetheless opens up options. The problem being there's 19 seconds. And Device, thinking maybe he's saving, suddenly stays on A and realizes they're actually heading toward him.
That incendiary is actually perfect. That's going to buy them enough time to actually get towards the site here. It was looking a little bit terrifying, but BO3 continues to apply the pressure once again. They're not watching the flanks. It goes down to a 2-on-2.
Bomb barely got planted. Flamey went down the second it touched the ground. They're not watching the flanks, and you're right. The fact that they didn't have the bomb near enough to the site, all of Electronic's work comes undone. Edward and Zeus have to find BO3. They know he's entering from the bathrooms, but he's already checked the side. Oh, the 180 nearly gets away.
Oh my goodness, you gotta respect it. You can see Navi barely celebrating that one. They knew how close BO3 was to picking it up. Wasn't a clean round, and once again, it's that flank from Connector. They don't seem to be aware of it when they make their full commitment towards the A site. They've got to wake up and see that possibility. Mages had them before, and this time it was BO3. Electronic caught in transition, and you're right, that bomb gets planted with what, a millisecond to go? If that bomb gets denied, it's round over. They've got to wake up on those sort of plays, but still, they get it on the board, take the momentum back, and you can see it tilting BO3. They've got FAMASes, CZs, and an AWP to operate with in round number 14. Going for the initial pick once again, nothing found. And this is still an exciting one because Navi, they won't have anything left either if they give this round up. Both teams financially ruined as they reposition towards long. They're going to boost Device up. He doesn't want to fully commit to the flower bed. He just wants a tight angle like this to find the first kill and get the hell out of there.
Time on the boost, but it does open up bathrooms this time with both players committing toward long. So it'll be one and then likely passive. There's a chance they could immediately re-peek on this. BO3 has a smoke. That'll help get back, but no flash. So they couldn't guarantee a re-peek. Device just barely saw Flamey in the bottom side of that scope.
That's what they wanted. Difficult round for them with a lack of firepower. Device had to make a play. That certainly counts. Takes down Flamey. They've successfully got back towards the site. They won't recover the AKs, but they're not worried about that. They want to maintain that man advantage right now as the timer ticks down. We hit 40 seconds here.
So much more gifted this time to Navi. Can certainly work these bathrooms and not have to get slowed down, hindered on the way to the site, but still just 30 seconds to go. Device angle between the brick. He's actually going to change that, use it to his advantage, but he oversteps. That's when Simple peaks. It works out very fortunately for Navi. BO3 trying to get lost inside of the smoke. He's just going to get knocked out of the round. That's two given up. Does nothing to try and watch out for the stairs. His teammate's only arriving now. Again, though, it's the flank. Electronic, he gets taken down. They don't even check it. Simple's going to have to watch it. Gets the wall bang right, but Magisk is still alive, and they can trade off of this. Can they? Oh my goodness! He might be Simple, but he's not stupid. He comes out once more to find Zipix, and it's Glaive all alone, all very, very alone. 10-4 Navi.
They're just welcoming that flank at this point. Yeah, you know what? You can get a couple of kills for free. We'll still deal with you. We've got the world's best here ready to go with the AWP. Pulls out the deagle, gets the second frag as well. And he was the one that opened things up. He took down the AWP Device, who was distracted at that 1 second by Zeus, who was encroaching on the bomb site. Edward did a good job to clear out that smoke. Can't see him, but it still works. The wall bang comes in, and then the Desert Eagle, Zipex, didn't know what hit him. My God, you can see Electronic a little bit frustrated the moment he went down, but still they pick it up. It's going to be 10-4 here, hunting for the final round. It's CZs and a scout as Glaive will push towards shore here. He's going to open that door, and he does not want to go any further than that. He's got one very angry T on the other side. And we'll see if Flamey can find the shot. Spots him, does minimal damage, and Glaive will fall back.
Just to note, something of usual high importance for CG sides and usually indicative of a poor CG side. It doesn't matter that BO3 leads the way with 16. The fact that Zipix is on 4 kills only says enough, because he's your CT anchor.
Yep.
He's playing the most important positions, and his efficiency is everything. If he's not getting kills on B, that tells me straight away B's not going well.
Or he's having to retake so much that he's not really part of the round whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. They could just render him useless in that regard as well. Electronic already sticks up towards the cubby. Nearly didn't get the spray. Device goes down though, and we're looking potentially at 11-4 for Navi in the first half. It's pretty shocking stuff. Again, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't when we go on to the next map as well.
That's why I wanted to use that example. I'm going to talk over this. I think that this is the kill, maybe not right, BO3. If you think back to that grand final last week, no one expected Train from Liquid, and it surprised Astralis. They looked rattled because they didn't prepare for that particular map. Now, I'm going to suggest they didn't prepare for Cash whatsoever. They have not got time to look back on anything. This could be a really exciting second map if Navi can close this game out. They're making a convincing case to do so. Clinical precision there from the two stars of the end. Simple and Flamey getting it done with the AK-47. They'll take the last 3 rounds. Simple finishes the half as 17. Electronic with 15. Those are the 2 names you want at the very top. Finally, Navi are looking like a world-class team here at this event.
Yeah, this is solid. This is really exciting for them. Certainly the way they want to end the year in 2018. Astralis has won absolutely everything. Navi, a win right now for them. We saw Liquid win in Malta. We saw Liquid actually beat them and get to the finals at Pro League last week. They want to make a case to be number 2 in the world and really send a message before the major. This is how you do it. I will say the conviction with which the selection was made by Zonic to say Cash. He did say Nuke originally. I think he even thought it was still in. But he did say Cash once he realized, okay, that's my options. He was pretty confident in it, but perhaps again that's relying on the fact that Navi doesn't play it.
I would prefer to have Glaive with me there and just confer.
True. Yep, absolutely.
Just because that's so much pressure on him. If this does go wrong, he's going to feel so much responsibility there. Anyway, let's get into this pistol. It's going to be a couple of smokes available here for Astralis. They've got fast, long, and mid control here. Electronic has been stunning with this USP so far in the tournament. We'll see if he can nail the first headshot here. Spots one. Realizes is out of contention now. We'll have to fall back and reposition. The smoke's deployed. This is a full commitment coming in from Astralis.
Flamey has absolutely no vision, but he takes a few shots through the smoke just in case. They could actually go up on top of the bomb boxes at this point, and they will. Just to get the vision. He can control the situation. He can get the read, the information, and they could potentially plant the bomb, but it's all gone wrong. Flamey, Electronic, and Edward, they've all got kills. Just by playing on the truck, Edward's going to do everything, and now he's got the 12th round. Everything looks so good for Astralis. The one position that can stifle them does.
I can't believe it. They didn't capitalize upon those smokes. No kills were found. No bomb was planted. What's going on here? It was so good. They got the long control. The mid area was all theirs. They got the smokes down. The flashes were in, but no kills found. It's crazy to think they didn't even get a plant out of that situation. They're going to have to take a full eco here, Matt, and that's guaranteeing 13-4 on the CT side of Overpass here. Yes, Astralis can buy AKs next round, but you've got a wild card round next. That's when they're going to have the SMGs. They'll be running at you at all facets, just like this. Simple. Okay, well, shooting the ceiling as well, I guess. And he's looking for his second kill here. He just wants to get it over with. He knows he's won this round.
You got to admire the man. He fires it a few times and just sprays at the roof because why not? Look at the sleep. Maybe that's what it was. It was the bat signal in the sky. Yeah. Everyone get here now. Swarm the underpass position, 13-4.
Yeah.
And they were almost not in this final. Cloud9 was almost here.
Glaive 6 kills, Zipex 4. Magus, one of the big names of the squad this year, 8. It's the first map of a best of 3, and it is Navi's pick. We're not going to get too excited just yet, but this is pretty monumental at this point. I don't think anyone expected a 13-4 scoreline coming in, but Astralis with guns in their hand now. But remember, like I said, the bonus round, it suggests something a little bit crazy will happen. You'll see SMGs running around, trying to find a kill here or there. Up and down the map, we'll see whether that comes into play. Edwards certainly investigating towards short. Decent grenade does considerable damage towards Dupree there. And at this point, it does subside. Not as up and about as I thought, as Dupree can't convert the frag.
Man, oh man, he's getting picked apart by nades. That one did surprisingly less damage than I would have thought. It's a ramp, not a staircase. So I would have thought some of the radius might have collected, but he sits with 50 HP nonetheless. And AK-47, Dupree, oftentimes second man into Magisk. Significant. Speaking of Magisk, he'll go back over with Glaive and Device toward A. A's actually wide open as well, by the way.
Yep.
Rotation based on the push through the short tunnel. Tronic gets Dupree. Famas to find it. But again, that's over on B, and they've realized there's not a lot of activity here. That single kill, Flamey repeaks water. There's no one there. Astralis needed to go. Flash comes out just to slow them enough. Electronic jumping through. He's going to get tanked up. Goes to the truck. That allows Magisk to collect. Smoke down on the stairs this time should amount to a very least a bomb plant, and it will.
There we go. Zipex watches the flank. You can see he knows what's up towards that position. That's how you should be patrolling it. It will be an Astralis round, their first of the half. But remember, as I mentioned, this is the round where Navi, they take a bit of a gamble. They come in and keep their SMGs. It's not technically a full gun round here. They will have enough cash to buy up again and even bring out a simple AWP. So yes, Astralis have negated this round, but the problems begin once more as we get into round number 19. It's going to be Edward to save the M4. Zeus looking for a rifle as well. Is there one there? I think there is. He probably knows better than I do. Just the UMP for him for now. As he holds up, Glaive doesn't really have to hunt this. It's not worth giving up his AK. And And there it is, first round on the board for Astralis. Going to need a lot more where that came from. I think they have a chance of getting back in this map. It's now 13-5. As mentioned, there is enough to purchase up here. Not quite for the AWP, $100 short of that on Simple side, but they'll definitely bring out the rifles here, and Astralis cannot afford to be reset at this point. It has to be a round victory for them. Simple's got the spawn, man. He's got that look in his eye as well.
He certainly wants to get aggressive. He's already there. They're heading as well, but he's only got the M4, not the AWP. So he'll hold off on getting aggressive and peeking all the way toward the stairs, because against AKs, his head would come off a little bit quicker than he would remove theirs. In theory, it is simple. He's pretty quick at what he does. Nothing is safe when you have him on the server.
Pretty insane stats. Last time Astralis got 5 rounds or less on Overpass was in March 2017. That's if they lose 16-5 at this point. I feel like the comeback's on. They are the masters of the comeback. This isn't done by any stretch.
Oh, still 27 then. Good God. Electronic.
How is he alive?
He's very lucky to be alive. The AUG scoped in and everything. He still couldn't find a shot. Manages to get down, flashes Simple back out. Quick M4 shot. They now know he's in the connector, but the shadow again favors his position. The flash not deep enough. He's still fine to hold off and try and pre-fire, but Magisk wins the duel. Now a lot of pressure on him. 21 HP. Edward, he'll make up for it by at least getting Dupree. But they know that that's on B, and if the aggression's on A, there's a likely rotation to try and support the man on low health, the man who's already been tagged. So why not counter-rotate? And that's exactly what Astralis looked to do.
Just Edward waiting there. This is going to be a difficult hold. He'll flash and do whatever he can, but it doesn't look good. He's going down here for sure. If he gets one, I'll be impressed, but Glaive takes care of him. I wouldn't even go for this retake if I'm Navi at this point. The money's going to be wrecked. He's now lost Zeus as well. No choice but Electronic and Flamey just to hold on to their rifles. Great stuff from Astralis. Good mid-round call. Reading it very well indeed. If you walk into a bomb site, you've got 4 players up, and there's just 1 player there, you take him down, no problem. It's definitely over. You can't even consider the retake at that point. Zeus tried it, taken down, and you can't really blame Edward for that one. He had to try and hold a position, get at least a kill, and flashed off. Sent back down to the water, taken down with the wall bang by Glaive. They'll keep 4 players up. We did say Astralis had to avoid the reset there, and they've done that in particular fashion. What a shot. Lovely stuff from Device. Finds Electronic. I think he's going to get this one as well. Not quite. Flamey will survive in the bathrooms, it seems, but 3 Astralis players will as well. There we go. 13-6. Long way to go at this point, but surely there won't be a buy here available. Who will win? You can vote now. We'll see. Right now, I think most of you will be saying Navi in this particular map, but as mentioned, Astralis, it takes a lot more than this to close things out. You have to get a 16 first. Doesn't matter how big your lead is.
It's a John Maddenism, right? The team with the most points will win at the end of the game. Well, in this case, it's not over until you get to 16.
Absolutely. You might have this usually, but it's not done.
No, yeah, and you can't give them an inch. Every mistake that they make, you pretty much have to capitalize, and you yourself making mistakes is opening a door wide open on the CT side because the economy starts to slip away. Great first pick from Simple. Certainly is to the benefit. Oh my goodness, the Flamey gets caught out, gap in the smoke as it was dissolving, and he was unaware that he was going to be so exposed as Magisk got the shot in return. That puts pressure on Pit. Edward thankfully supporting Zeus, who's only on the CZ as Setch. He wants to get inside of the smoke, but Magisk, he seems to be exactly that. A magician around the smoke, tries to pull the rabbit from the hat to find Zeus as well, but can't do it. It's the CZ to get the kill. But look who's been walking the whole time. If he had the bomb right now, imagine that. Unfortunately, he does not.
That's fantastic work from Zeus there. Lovely, aggressive work, taking attention away from Simple at the same time. But they have no information that Glaive is here. He has smokes, Molotov, and a flashbang. Heads towards heaven at this point. They need to be very aware. I'm not sure Zeus is. Their timing might save him at this point. Glaive will have to show himself and doesn't spot him. That is unbelievable. The timings in CSGO sometime, and Simple, 1 step ahead, detects the play towards heaven, takes him down. 1 step closer now, 14-6. Their map pick and the absolute wild card of Cash coming in next. For context, for people who don't follow CS every single week, for the last 3 or 4 years, Navi have vetoed Cash in every best of 3 going. They'd say they played it 4 times a year. I'm going to assume 90% of those were online, through maybe Pro League or something like that. That's a weird veto system online. They do not play this at LAN. Guardian left Navi, saying he'd never really played a professional level, had to learn the map at that level when he joined FaZe. So that just goes to show you how interesting it is in the map pool.
It certainly brings the mentality of Zeus to question, because he's been the leader for most of that and the majority of this lineup going that far back. So what have they practiced? I think you're going to rely on Simple to just go off the chains.
Yep, and that
which,
might be enough.
To be fair, is their strat anyway half the time, right?
That might be enough, you know.
Flash goes over, entry through Monster, 3 players there. Edward with the shotgun's going to try and hold this. He's got a great position to do so, but BO3 takes Flamey. Flashback, he's up close, he's got 1 low HP, can't bolt it in time. Lock it in time, pump it in time. Whatever you do with a shotgun, doesn't seem to matter for Magisk. He'll get Zeus down. Someone let me know on Twitter, I'm sure someone will.
Pump is fine.
Pump the brakes perhaps, because they're going to back out on the Navi side, not even attempt to get the retake underway. 14 now to 7, they'll cut it back in half. Still 2 to go for Navi, so saving these weapons certainly gives them a bit more purchase power down the line, and they can afford to give up a few if they require. And maybe even should do with the money the way that it is, rely on these 2 weapons and not get baited into over-purchasing. It's been back and forth. These last few rounds, 2 in a row for Astralis, 1 for Navi, and this will be now another for Astralis.
Simple will save the orb. Electronic with a rifle. Those are the names that have been topping the scoreboards, taking the heads off the shoulders of Astralis, and it will be enough. I wouldn't even be that scared to force buy around this. Yes, you have a massive lead, and by the Counter-Strike handbook, you should be maybe saving onto your money and keeping that lead strong and not risking anything. You know what, sometimes you've got to throw that rule book away and just say, you know what, Simple's got an orb. Let's see what he can do with it. Let's let him off the leash and see if we can get the 15 as quickly as possible. End this right here, right now. That's exactly what's going to happen. I can see the buys coming in already. Great shots from BO3 and Magisk. This shot secured the round. Zeus, nice spot, but couldn't find the aim. Flamey not feeling it. Got to stay composed. You're against Astralis, who don't flinch like that anymore. The AWP is out, the M4 too, and they've justified UMPs and CZs here as they go for the boost towards Sean.
This door is such a point of contention when this boost is in effect. Smoke down on short tunnel means that Simple can actually focus on it. In fact, they're even going to bring a second player, a third if you include the man boosting, out toward that construction position. And you can re-smoke that, meaning Simple could actually fix his focus onto that steel door once more. Magisk is not in line with it. Edward hoping that trying to pull that spray through might even bait him into walking into it, but Simple's going to give up on that. They now have to worry about Monster, knowing that it's over toward B. How does Edward win that at that range with a UMP?
I have no idea, but that's ludicrous. He stole that kill away. That shouldn't be going in his favor. Magisk in a 1v1 against a UMP, especially at that range, it should have been his. Edward's done a great job there, but Zeus gives it up in return, and they might commit on that.
Smoke down, Edward there. Cross is over. Gets taken out by BO3. Let's see if the gap was there or not, but perhaps it was. Just not quite been covering all the way to the wall as of yet, as it just bloomed. Nonetheless, Simple. He's still waiting with an AWP in the open, wanting someone to walk in, confident enough in his aim to be that fast. And you can see him snapping back and forth to both sides. 3 players up still for Astralis as they get the bomb down. And Simple, desperate to get inside of the site, will work with his teammate, try and trade the angle. His teammate already on the platform. Someone's got to look toward Monster, though. They find the first on Electronic. The other 2 are already on the pillar. It's going to be followed up. Electronic's got another. BO3, the only one left on Monster, and he doesn't have the angle to the bomb. They can get on top of this. He's got to swing wide. He'll find the first on Simple. Electronic gets the trade. And Simple loves it. Electronic is the man he needs to be the duo.
They took the gamble. The AWP and the M4 saved. If they lost that round, Astralis could be right back in the game. But it's the tag team duo, Simple and Electronic, to close it out. You can see them operating with great synergy there. One watching shot. Electronic, you need to focus on that pillar right now. Device bottles it. He can't find the shot, and Electronic then can focus, close it out. He's got the kit, and it's map point to Navi here on Overpass. 15 to 7, and the money, it does not look fantastic here. You can see what it means to that man there.
Xyp9x is still non-existent. He is still nowhere to be seen. That can't happen on Overpass. In the past, he's the man that really makes this map work for Astralis, and only with 6 kills and 18 deaths at this point.
BO3's got 22. He's playing his heart out here on the grand final stage. His teammates just can't keep up right now. Device, we haven't really mentioned him at all, maybe a few times in the first half, but they haven't stepped up here on the T side. They've had a few scrappy rounds go in their favor. They've been reset each and every time. They now come in with 2 UMPs, 3 AKs, a full array of utility. It's enough. but now 8 rounds in a row have to be perfect here. Overtime isn't affecting the best of 3s, obviously. And we'll see Flamey, this time with a good spawn, using that double orb, trying to find the first pick, but he could be in trouble here. It's Dupree to take down Electronic.
You said it, playing his heart out, finds another kill. Zeus, did he overlook it? Okay, he's actually ducked down, brings the shotgun back
Ridiculous.
out. I thought he was done for. I thought he looked away at exactly the wrong time, perhaps expecting the flash. Dupree trying to be very fast, gets to long, gets caught, gets away with it. 56, he was already tagged too, so no damage done. Zipix waiting for the bomb, and that shotgun at the bottom of the ladder is going to be a massive problem if he's quick. Simple just got glaive.
Where? That's insane.
That's a long quick smoke.
Well, he's got another one. This guy, he's looking to take us all the way in the grand final. Cash is a question mark, but still, it looks like Navi might have done enough. Zipex and Device left in a 3 versus 2 here. Device has got the B bomb side though, but the bomb all the way in the short pipe.
Is slow. He's slow to rotate.
Yep.
He's still in the short pipe, checking back towards spawn. I was going to say, did Edward not see him? I saw it on the overview. He did actually look back that direction. Bomb down. Flamey with it. 16-7. Astralis take down Overpass. And what happens now? We go to the most unknown map between these two teams. And is it going to catch Astralis off?
This is why I was scared. If they somehow did give up Overpass, they now go to uncharted territory. No one knows what's happened here on Cash. Have Navi been playing in that boot camp before Pro League? Have they been practicing on it for this very moment, knowing they can't take them on Nuke? This is now a very exciting prospect. If they close this out 2-0 with a Cash wildcard pick, that's going to be one of the plays of the year for them. And
what does it say about Astralis' map pool? We're finally going to see weaknesses potentially if they are able to beat them on Cash. We know Train wasn't great for them against Liquid.
Yeah.
We're finally seeing two teams find weaknesses, which going into the major, they could then use to shape up on. If they boot camp those two maps, we've got a map pool on our hands.
You touched on some very important notes there. There are players that are missing for Astralis. Zipex, who is the king of Grand Finals. He's stone cold, never seems to break a sweat. He didn't really appear at all then, and that's a massive problem. Device looks okay. We need him to be at this level though. Dupree's the only one who's looking like a
Simple hitting shots that he is. Remember that play at long that he just baited them out and absolutely destroyed the op Device inside of the connector? Think about the incredible wall bang as well when he covered the flank off.
Yep.
Finally did something there to make sure that the flank wasn't an issue. If he's playing that well and has Electronic getting frags, Edward getting frags, yeah, you need Device on that level.
It's getting spicy, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cash next. We'll take a break and be back with map number 2.
This is going to be a bloodbath today. 6 teams, it's quality over quantity, and everyone seems to be on their game.
Welcome to Blast Pro Series Copenhagen for the 2nd year in a row. It's going to be another tremendous day of Counter-Strike.
Your explaining days are over, because you are sportsmen.
To win this may actually be a harder mental task than winning the major.
Seems like the fans are ready. Are you guys ready? Wow. It's time for the final ingredients. Let's get the teams out here. Lady wants to swing. Never mind, swinging 6 HP.
Contention here. Double orb setup picked up.
It's another duel for Zipex. There it is, the kills. And there's just one player left. Trying to work into the bomb site, but he faces a legendary team. Back in the action. I know, my heart's racing right now, like 1,000 beats a minute.
Are you ready to take it up a notch, Copenhagen? Then let's go!
This is going to be good. NIP taking on Navi.
I'm excited for the idea of having Simple in front of this crowd, the best player in the world, playing in front of 12,000 plus people. That's going to be exciting.
Step by step, NIP is losing players. They just don't have the ability to recover from it.
but now it's then as the last one left, trying to fight it through. But Navi, they have looked absolutely incredible, and Simple is there, your new Blast Pro champions, Navi!
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to the Blast Pro Series Copenhagen 2018 champions, Navi!
I want to win this tournament, and I ask my team to do this because this one is a really exciting tournament.
Navi, they came here with one plan, to defend their Blast Pro title. It started in Copenhagen, they look to finish it in Lisbon, but by no means an easy feat. They do start on the right foot, though, as we do see them pick up Overpass. Not necessarily a guarantee from here on, but I'm joined by Maniac and Potter to talk through this one. I am Bashir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an intriguing one. Navi, we doubted them in the pre-match. We painted the picture of Astralis just putting another trophy in their cabinet, and it proves it's not going to be as easy as perhaps thought. And a spectacular victory from Navi there, Maniac.
Isn't it now a typical Navi thing to have a shaky start in the tournament and then show up? To be honest, what an impressive first map. The first half, in my eyes, was excellent. Navi able to pick up frags left and right, abusing the monster area on the B map, winning even 4v5, Simple going off, Electronic as well. This map was excellent by Navi.
What did you think about that B lean they were doing? There was so many rounds where we saw 3-4 members of Navi on that B site, and they were getting away with it, Christine. Is that just some smart maneuvers?
You know, I actually really like that. You tend to see more teams stacking more towards A. If anything, they keep 2 defenders at B and at least 3 minimum towards that A bomb site. But we saw, as you mentioned, Navi stacking heavily towards that B, and I think really, though, they won this map on that T side prior to that setup, so we couldn't really see
That's fair.
How much it benefited them. But yeah, I mean, as he mentioned, it was such a great half by Navi in the first half. We saw Electronic saving Navi a few times, Simple saving Navi a few times. And when I say saving, I mean 11-4 half, that is a dominant half, but Astralis had a lot of chances, not a lot of chances, but they had some chances to bring it back, and they actually almost did. Electronic with a huge 3K at that B bomb site to pull Navi back into it, and what a beautiful half. Yeah,
when I saw it was a 2v3 and it was Simple Electronic on the left side of my screen, I was like, okay, don't hold your breath. Is that what you wrote?
Simple Electronic 2v3 for the 15th round.
There you go. That's exactly what I expected. Well, you've looked at the results, and we're just going to talk about Navi's 2018. Now, of course, this isn't the only event they've attended this year. In fact, many, including Copenhagen, where they lifted the trophy. But this is a little summary of how their year has gone. A solid year, and there's no doubt about it. Electronic has been a new addition and an invaluable one to the team. You know, this is a name that we often wouldn't find ourselves talking about at Tier 1 tournaments under that flip side banner, but as he's donned this Navi jersey, it's a very different story. I mean, I saw a fantastic exchange. They told him he's a top 20 player in the world. He says he's aiming for top 5.
Well, I've said it on many occasions in many different locations that Electronic rising up to that level is, in my opinion, one of the factors as to why Navi is now playing for top 2, top 3, right? Because Simple was always Simple, and there is nothing to take away from him, how crazy he is. But the fact that Electronic can find his groove and his level that he had in Flipside, that is to me the main reason why Navi, you know, took such a great place in the top 2, top 3, arguably.
And I think I saw an interview with Electronic, and he mentioned in there that he thinks he's better than Simple. And I love that. I actually, when I saw that interview, I'm like, you go, Electronic.
Yeah, you do that.
You get it.
Sassy Electronic.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm all for it. As long as it's a friendly rivalry and you're on the same team, hell yeah. If it's going to push you further, all the power to you.
Oh, it's supposed to work like that. You know, in psychology, you know, when you have someone on you, let's say at the gym, going on the bicycle, and you're like, oh, he's going faster than me, I have to go. Why not use that in a team instead of having it like being a negative thing where you want to be better than your teammate? It's like negative things. No, I want to be better than you. You're going to do 1 hour deathmatch, I'm going to do 2. You want to watch 2 demos, I want to watch 3. If you can stimulate yourself in the team, I think that's very beneficial.
Yeah, no, I can acknowledge that as well. I mean, me and the CSGO group backstage, I told them I wanted to lose some weight, and now it's a competition. So I can't stop counting calories. I really can't. But we should move on with the action. We do have some highlights for you, I believe, of the incredible action that went down throughout this one. And there was so many to choose from. I mean, it was the first half, Potter, as you've so rightly said. 11 rounds, T-side Overpass. Was there anything in particular that stood out to you that made that T-side look so easy?
You know, it probably the anti-eco, the save round that Astralis ended up losing. We don't see that very often. They won that pistol, and we're expecting that easy 2-0, 3-0 start from Astralis. And once that begins, that's what makes it so hard for other teams to beat them. But in fact, Navi comes in, wins that save round, and from there, that's when they started their run. I believe it was 8-2 before Astralis took a pause and kind of discussed things. And yeah, it was a great half.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that force buy, you know, we call it the trademark Navi force buy.
Yeah.
They will never let you breathe. They will never let you have that Glock round, which is comfortable. No, they always go for it. 1 or 2 AK, it doesn't matter. But as you say, rightfully, Astralis is not supposed to lose it. That's what they do. They win these rounds. And here, simple, 3 frags on that round. Suddenly, Navi has the money, and they actually survived the next force buy from Astralis. They converted it.
They weathered the storm.
Exactly. Suddenly, they were in control. They had all the money. And yeah, from that point, you were right. They just cruise up to 8-2, and at this point, the break is already there.
And that was the round we were talking about. I loved Electronic's reaction after it, where he seemed angry that they were succeeding. I couldn't understand it. Well, shouting at his monitor.
He had gotten flanked 2 rounds prior to that, 2 rounds in a row from Bathroom, and so I could feel his frustration.
You were like,
with
not
him.
again.
Yeah, because that was actually his 3rd death in a row that he died from the flank when his teammate was watching it. So definitely some frustrations there. I felt it with him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dying out of your control, out of your hands. Now a reminder, Cash is next. I'm sure the caster will explain it again as to why this stands as quite an eyebrow-raising map in the veto. Before a single frag was fired, people were excited, and a big part of that was the fact that Navi are going to be playing Cash. Fear for Astralis Nuke reaching a level which makes them willing to play their perma ban. It's very exciting, Maniac, and I will give you just a moment, and it has to be quick, of what your expectations are. This is a map we haven't seen Navi on.
I'm going to be civil, pun intended. I have no idea what's going to happen on Cash, but I love it. I love that Navi banned Nuke. I love that they let Cash open, because that's not a map that Astralis plays. Astralis has played it 1 time in 3 months. Not a lot of information to go on. So I love that veto, and it could end up, you know, it could be a trap for Astralis.
All right, we're going to watch some commercials, because when we do come back, we're going to be getting ready with the crowd, and we are going to be closing our eyes and crossing our fingers to see what Navi can bring to Cash versus Astralis.
Copenhagen! Let me hear you! SK Gaming are your Blast Pro Series champions!
They keep doing it better and better.
It should be a warning to every team in the future. What a headshot!
This isn't real life. It's fair. Cash is king. Hold up, because Daddy's home. It's gonna be such a fun day.
Are you ready?
You've got to be kidding. For me, it wasn't movies or books. It was games that shaped my dreams.
3 kills! That is so beautiful!
It is time to blast off!
It's down to just Device in the 1v2, but the pistol is great, and now 1 more shot would do it for him. Flash high, good progress, a little peek here and there, but now Device knows he's going to be challenged. It's Nico, and it's the Device! He does it all! He gets past that.
For me, it wasn't movies or books. It was games that shaped my dreams. One of my earliest memories is from RuneScape. One guy asked me for my password in the game because he was going to give me a lot of items. Turns out that he just hijacked my account, I ran into my dad and I was actually crying and told him, and he just started laughing a little bit because he knew instantly what has happened. Every time I get an offer that sounds too good to be true, and I think back actually, and I remember the moment. It's very clear in my head.
Hello, and welcome back to the Blast Pro Series final! Hey! All right! Alexander! I'm about to introduce the second map of the final, Cash here, and I didn't expect to see you here. What's been going on exactly? What
kind of warming up the crowds.
Warming up the crowd?
Yeah, to show the world what Portugal is all about, you know? You want to see? See?
I want to show you. Do you guys want to show me?
Okay. Portugal, todos de pé.
Oh, okay.
Isso.
Fine, this is...
Mãos nos ombros.
It's going well, okay.
Lindo. Aos 3, saltamos e rebentamos com isto. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mais uma. 1, 2, 3. Vamos à frente. Bora lá. Vamos bater no ar, já aquecemos os pés. Estás pronto? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for this, man. Let's do it.
You gotta clap with me.
Okay.
And when we do it,
okay,
we gotta scream.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Fasten.
Make some noise for my co-host Alexander! I love this guy. Oh, do you know what? That was amazing. You guys are amazing. Wow. This is great. There's a career for us as a double act. Okay. Can you do me a favour? Can you ask the audience here? Can you ask them in Portuguese if they're ready for Cash Map 2?
Okay. Pessoal. Astralis contra Navi, se estão prontos, façam barulho!
Okay, there we go. Feels like a yes. I think we're ready for map number 2 in this final. That was awesome. Well done, buddy. That was amazing.
Hello.
How's it going?
I don't know. I thought they said 10 seconds. I don't know if our mics are even live.
Well, let's consider they are.
Okay,
Matthew,
let's do it.
This is it. Map number 2, uncharted territory. Navi have not played a game on land this year on Cash. This is exciting. It's Astralis' weakest map. Let's see. We are off. Navi 1-0. Astralis starting on the CT side.
You made a fantastic point during the break about structure, Henry. Astralis need it, Navi don't.
Exactly.
If they don't have it on Cash, Simple likely gets his run of the game.
We'll see what happens. I'm actually really excited for this one. What a treat to close out the year. We get to see a map where both teams will be squirming on. As we get into it, it will be Simple. Of course, he's got that P250. He's looking to open things up. He'll be trying to find the first headshot here. He might be gifted one as well. Player peeking towards a connector. That's going to be Glaive. Not connecting just yet. You can see a double stack. Actually, just a single from Majors. It's going to be Glaive who's holding towards Checkers. So we'll see if Simple can sniff them out here. Still trying to find damage as he makes his way towards the vent. He feels like there's a player of sandbags. I think there's Detector on his side. There's the first headshot. Oh my God! Simple continues to destroy Astralis here, and it's complete domination. And 3 kills come in. It's 5-on-2, and nothing can be done here.
Flamey finds Device as well. Not a single kill for Astralis. And not a single pistol. I take that back, excuse me. They won the first one, but they were ecoed immediately after, so they haven't had a good start to a half. At any point so far this series, Xyp9x can do little. He's got a kit, sure. Maybe he gets another 1 versus 5 ninja. I highly doubt it on the pistol. They've got more than enough reason to stand around and make sure that bomb explodes. Not much to lose. And there's the kill for Flaming.
It seems like the crowd likes an underdog here. It's interesting it's got to this map, and Astralis, they come in with a rigid game plan. They know what they want to do in these Vitas. I'm surprised Zonic let this map come through. Yes, Navi are not familiar with it. They don't play it a lot, but Astralis, it's probably the least played map for them this year as well. Really not that excited for what they're going to bring to the table here. If Simple and Electronic continue to look like absolute stars on the server, this could be a 2-0 as we see the force fight come through. It's not the most ideal map for it. We'll see if it works out for them. Astralis with CZ, a scout, and a few bits of utility here. You can see Glade making his way towards the vents.
CZ inside of said vents. Anything that can be done with it. Electronic, meanwhile, holds with the smoke. That's not a drop. Crosshair placement already suggestive of smoke to go with Z connector. They'll boost up Simple now that it's thrown. Molotov as well to clear out the sandbags. That's not toward the vent, where we know there's one, or was one. Residing. Won't be a retake on A, I'll tell you that much. 3 players already over on that side of the map. It certainly is mid given up. They don't have the range game to play for it, and Electronics cleared it. Drop down, Electronic now takes charge. Push toward B tunnels. Flame's able to spot out 1 player backside of the site. That's Dupree. They don't know the Glaive is underneath. Manages 1. Bit of an awkward exchange. I mean, the aim's sort of on the axis above your head. We're going to take down Dupree as well. So pretty straightforward round at this point. They lose 1. Bomb's going to go down. Navi's going to go up 2-0. It is really pressure on Astralis. Let's see how they respond to it, because pressure is not something that they've seen a lot of lately.
Well, there it is. It looks like the round is done. A little bit awkward there, trying to
dancing around each
other's bullets indeed. The Xyp9x and Mages now holding onto their Deagle armor. They have smokes as well, so a little bit of valuable kit. Might not seem like the most exciting save, but worthwhile. You've got Mages there, a wonderful user with a Desert Eagle. He can do damage on a map like Cash. Lots of long-range angles for it. Xyp9x got a lot of criticism from us, at least, in their first map. Really couldn't get on the server at all. He couldn't find his footing. Non-existent almost.
He absolutely needs to find a way into this series. First game yesterday as well, round 1. Remember, Astralis, they were unbeaten. In the group stage, they were 5-0 in the round robin. They finally lose a map, and it's in the final of all times. The first game they played yesterday, Xyp9x was very slow to get started in that as well, so it's not the first time he's found himself with adversity in this tournament here in Lisbon. In Portugal, our last event of 2018. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone at home. It's been pretty fun, 2018, having you all with us. We look forward to 2019. We'll start it off with a bang. We've got a major coming up at the end of February.
Absolutely true. This round still could be a little bit interesting, though, considering the fact we've got those Deagles and armor on Mages and Xyp9x. All it takes is 1 kill, a rifle picked up, and they can do serious damage with it, and Navi are aware of that. Simple by himself towards A main, vulnerable to flashbangs, but luckily the CTs don't have any. He'll just be looking for his first kill now, and once he gets in the zone, he starts hitting every single shot. We've already seen that so far. That P250 play in the pistol was absolutely sublime. As Mages holds towards B, Molotov's in his position, a bit of damage inflicted, and Edward closes the door on himself. Interesting play, and Simple's low HP here. Needs to be very careful. Took a little bit of damage at the start. It is 88 to be fair. I thought he got tagged up for more than that. As we see it get to the 1-minute mark, still looking like they could be dangerous here. Astralis with a stack towards A, and there's the first kill. That Deagle, it will find the first.
Electronic still holding true with the AK. He's getting gifted frags. Xyp9x steps wide of the mark. Of course, Spy meets pistols yet again, so not really much of an exciting task. First kill made it promising. Device still with the P250. Stopping distance from that range is certainly powerful. Just that gets Edward. You're right, they could gap in the smoke. Device couldn't capitalize. Zeus takes him down. It's all on the Glaive. 1-on-2 has a UMP picked up, but no armor, no kit, no utility. Bit of a tall order. If I'm not mistaken, that vent's already been blown out, so he'll be able to walk in, but when he drops down, they'll hear the noise. And right now is exactly when they hear it. He'll grab the AK instead, but already Simple's attention is turned toward the checkers.
Glaive has got such a difficult task here. He's going to have to find instant headshots, but unfortunately, Simple is the only one finding those right now. 3-0, like we said, could be a difficult round considering those Deagles were out. And it was Majors that gets a few kills, brings it down to the 2 versus 1. But here we go. This is fascinating. Astralis are going in. I haven't seen this very often. In the first gun round, they bring out a double AWP setup. Now, normally they'll bring it out if things get really desperate or they can pick it up and carry on with it. It's rare to see them go to it straight away. Glaive can AWP, but he's not an AWPer that uses it as often as other secondary AWPers.
It is an interesting choice. Kerrigan Days TSM, they ran it all the time on this map, and it is something that a lot of teams do. We know the options. You can play it B, you can play it A happily, you can get aggressive with it. Mid's an option. There's so much creativity, I suppose, if you want to call it that, for the AWP on this map. It's not unlikely, but you're right. It's how early they're bringing it out and how much it could cost them if they don't win with it.
Remember, Navi won't have a million strats up their sleeve. It's not a map we've seen from them really at all this year. Simple, very patient on this boost. You do see that quite often these days, but nothing to be found. Flashing over, trying to bait out a bit of utility towards A. The flash is actually yielding a frag for Electronic. This guy has looked amazing so far with the AK. He's on for another kill as well. So much pressure applied towards the A site, and Astralis are floundering.
Edward needed to find that kill, though, toward Forklift. The fact that they get away and they can play behind the smoke still gives them a chance. Magisk, 14. Edward realizes that Edward didn't see him. He walked around and thought it was clear. Somehow they get a gift back on the Astralis side. Simple. He'll hold that quad. AWP switches to an M4, but Zipix is already pouncing. He goes over top of the red crate. Bomb is down in 43 seconds, and Flamey has 15 HP to find 2, one of which is at mid with an AWP. Meaning he can be isolated, the bomb can be planted, but Flamey's given his position up, and both players position accordingly so that they aren't caught off in one-on-ones, and Flamey knows the circumstances as he tries to spray in and hopefully, optimistically, get lucky to bring it down to a one-on-one. As he still clears, gets closer, spots out, somehow not dead, 5 HP. But the round surely at this point has to go in favor of Astralis, and you're absolutely right, Edward didn't even look toward quad.
I can't even explain that. I can't even fathom it. It's one of the most common positions when you're isolated on the site, you've got utility coming in, you can protect yourself, there's no Molotov in that position. He doesn't even consider it, and that's the kill that decides the round. He gets that one, a fully flashed CT in the corner, it's over. They won't even retake that. Either way, Navi with a perfect approach, a great entry, nice flashbang, Electronic cracks the side open, they just fumble the final hurdle there. Astralis will save their double AWP setup into the next round, but there is cash available for Navi. It's going to be the AWP for Simple this time. Have a look at what kind of spawn he's got. Not an amazing one. They're going for some sort of boost, I believe. Simple's lining something up. Maybe it's just one of the wall bangs at the start, and indeed it is. Nothing connects, though.
Said it, the crowd likes an underdog. Flamey waiting to see if anyone's pushed the smoke to the boxes in the corner. That's why he's elevated himself up in his crosshair. The laser, as you can see it on the top right, heads that direction. It's Electronic down below. They want to go to the site. First one in. Zipix finds it, nearly dropped down. He would have easily taken Electronic. He tried to play that catwalk position to catch them off, but just rotating in, but Simple swings. It's 2-on-2. The bomb plant for Navi. This would be a reset of 3 rounds against Astralis as well, but Glaive finds Electronic as he retreats. It's all onto Simple. Quad's not a bad position to be. Is the AWP the right weapon? More so, it's not an A main take. It's going to be from the door, which means Dupree's going to be on top of Simple almost immediately. And so far, his attention isn't looking that direction. It is now. Doors open. No sound cue. And Simple, does he hear him jumping? Does he check it? Smoke goes down, spots one. It's going to put his vision firmly that direction. He hides behind quad, locates himself so that he's not exposed, but he's baited by the noise, and that's when Glaive peeks.
That's some great teamwork there. That's world-class stuff. The fact that Dupree knew the door was going to hinder him, he actually turned it into an advantage. He opens it, jumps around. He knows that's going to be in Simple's mind at that point. Allows Glaive to get in position, and then they can pincer together. Knowing he's got the AWP, he can't kill both of you, make things uncomfortable, make him take his vision away from the static angle he was holding. It was great trades from Navi, but Astralis now on their feet. The bomb gets planted and 2 rounds go against him. I don't think Navi can justify the force here. They're averaging $3,000 per player, and they've given up a couple of disastrous rounds there, especially that quad kill. That felt like it was everything there. They could be up 5-0 at this point, but it all fell apart due to that 1 kill. And we get into round number 6. See the boys chatting now. Tactical timeout in play. I have seen Deagles purchased here, but no armor just yet. Electronic will get it and take itself down to $2,000. So this will be a partial. But Astralis now on a T-sided map, able to tie things up, but they've got to get past these Deagles first. And Cash, it's similar to Dust 2. If you want to group up as a 5-man unit, a couple of flashbangs and jump into a bomb site, if you get that first kill, it can snowball out of control. So definitely not out of the woods just yet. Need to find this round. And a team like Navi, with the way their stars are playing right now, all hell could break loose here, map.
3-2. Teamwork yields the second round for Astralis. You mentioned it though, Deagles brought out 3 of them in fact. For Navi. It's a pretty poor thrown nade by Magisk, but perhaps matters little as no one was inside of the doorway connecting to the A-main hall, so therefore it wouldn't have done any damage even if it was on target. Simple with a bit of a boost behind the smoke at B, seeing if anyone wants to push forward. No need for Astralis to extend too far in this round. They should be well aware of the fact that there isn't going to be weapons. I'll even go as far as to say they are well aware of that.
I think you might be right.
There's always the off chance Simple does something crazy and buys a weapon, but it's not really possible this time.
Well, yeah, he started that trend. A lot of teams replicating that sort of idea now. But for now, double orb setup. They have 2 smokes remaining. If they can execute, that would be great. Try and avoid the orbs. A boost from the CZ side going in towards the vents. dupreeh needs to be very careful here. Yes, there's a Molotov in front of him, but so is Simple. Will they trade this out? First kill for Astralis, and the second as well. Simple's being tagged out. That should confirm things for the Danes. You can see they can't really do anything with this now. 30 seconds remaining. 1 useless smoke towards connector. I'm not really sure the plan's going to be. Glaive locking it down the AWP. Nothing to be done by Edward and Flamey at this point.
Love the decision to make sure that B-main was covered so dupreeh could fall out. You said it, he had to be careful of that fence, and even if they were able to get the M4, they took him down. Ready to pounce on it either way, and they're hunting him. They'll finally kill, yes, and then Xyp9x is ready to strike. Xyp9x is ready to strike, 5-3. He's on pace currently with Glaive and Magisk. dupreeh with 1, Device with 0, just to note, so they're a bit slow starting, but it's Xyp9x that was slow all of the last game that we have to keep an eye on.
This was a little bit of an awkward affair, but dupreeh mopped up Magisk with a nice push there as well. Once he got that call that there's many players towards middle and the vents, he can make an educated guess that A will be clear. Gets that done, and Xyp9x close things out. Here we go again though, rifles once more. Navi looking assertive towards A. They want to go for a contact play here. The smoke will slow them down, but that doesn't necessarily mean they won't push. Device in towards the door. We talked about these sort of plays time and time again. This time he hits Electronic, the caught in the act. It is going to be a 5 versus 4. Now they'll pounce on the bomb site. Very simple approach here from Navi, but you can see how effective it is. Their aim is just beautiful as Flamey takes down 2. No chance of a retake, and that's the kind of gameplay we wanted to see on Cash. You said Astralis will struggle against teams that don't have much structure, and there wasn't much there at all. 5 players towards A, 1 smoke down, get in, find headshots, and it works perfectly.
The brawl favors Navi. If it's a straight street fight, I think they win out. Astralis relying tactical discipline. This time will rely on dupreeh to just try and save an M4 at this point. Bomb due to detonate any moment now in A. He waits out at mid. No one pursuing at this point either, so I think he'll get away with this gun.
What a nightmare that is for Device as well. The first round he decides to go, I'm going to go aggressive here. This is the shot, falls back, he's got Electronic waiting for him when he's got a knife out. That's just over at that point. Great play from Electronic just to pounce on an opportunity. If their comms are that good to say Device in the door and he's got himself in that spot, That's so well played by them. Navi 4, Astralis 3, money not great on the Danish side, and Flamey hitting crucial shots. We haven't seen this Flamey in a while. I hate to say that, but we just haven't. He's admitted it himself. He's looking to prove himself at this event, and he's done a great job. But his individual play, it looks back to what we expect. Oh, no way.
Oh. I thought the same thing that you did. As if Simple would get that gifted to him. Fires a little bit early. No one found inside of his E-connector. The old body bang. Top of the crate, through the window. Minute 49. Simple still going to get one on device. They had to nerf it. Valve actually had to add a second panel to take away the damage, so you couldn't do that. And then there was another angle that was found. Jisk underneath of the drop, still trying to play close with one found already on B. How much more pressure will be applied by Astralis? Dupree wants to get baited, having saved that M4, so that's why Magiska's here. Maybe here to try and get a deal shot. Does damage. Dupree, but too far away to swing. Lovely shot on Flamey, and he'll queen them all. Yes, it's mostly pistols, but it was a wise setup. He'll finally go down, but 3 kills in the round from him before doing so. Electronic closes us.
Oh, that's what you want to see from Flamey. I've missed him. Lovely accuracy there, tapping away, calm as well. Didn't panic when they appear on his screen. You really do enjoy to see that. It's 5-3. That was the eco from Astralis, and we've got a microphone problem for Navi. They seem to have them more often than everyone, to be honest. But they've got one. So
at least we haven't had Glaive stand up and unplug his headphones as of yet.
That is true.
That certainly did happen at Pro League. In fact, the next play, just after, he stood up and wisely took the in-ears out, so he didn't pull on the cable and didn't break the sound card or the port on the PC.
Well, here's the technical timeout. They can't quite hit their coach, I believe. Device is yet to get a kill on Cash. Matthew, could you confirm that for me? Can you have a look on our scoreboard?
That was the case 2 rounds ago. He's 007. He is the famous meme that is James Bond.
Or James Bardolph.
He's like 0020.
Love you, James. Anyway, round 9 coming in, and there is a buy available for Astralis. It's only device for the AWP. I say only because they've been running double orbs in their gun round so far. Is there a kit? There's not. Navi actually have control of this, and we are off. This is not live. Can confirm that. Flamey did not purchase, so we'll turn the music off for a second. Let the energy build back up. This certainly has got energy behind it. Cash. We've seen a few teams approach their vetoes in a strange manner recently. We've noted it already, the fact that Liquid don't play Train. That was the opening map last week at Pro League Finals in a best of 5. They could have vetoed it straight away. They played it first and won. That was the only map they won. But
yes,
still.
It threw a spanner in the works to the point where we weren't sure how Astralis were going to deal with the rest of the series, more so because Mirage was second. If Liquid won that and they went down 0-2 in a best of 5, would they recover? Now, I will say one of the things I've noticed with Liquid, this is a side point to this game, but we've got a moment. If they ever plan on beating Astralis, they need to learn how to play from behind, because you can see it. You could physically, in Train, where they knew they had the mental edge, they were peaking, they were taking fights, they were winning game duels. As soon as they were on the back foot, they were tensed up, they overthought each peak, and they just got obliterated. And they need to realize if they're going to win with skill, do it every, doesn't matter if it's 16-1 in their favor or against them, just play every, like, that level of confidence they had on Train has to carry throughout the whole series.
Sure, I do agree with that. You can see that first map, they looked like the team was going to lift the trophy. As soon as things started going wrong for them, I remember the adjustment. It was when Device stopped AWPing. It was actually Dupree and Glaive. They didn't know how to handle that situation.
That's right.
And then you could see there was quite a different team that approached the final after that. Yeah, I do agree with your point. But yes, back to this one. We do still have a slight technical issue here. I think TeamSpeak is giving us woes as usual. The company is still going, even with all this bad press they get from us.
Yeah.
Either way, it looks like we're good to go. Thank you so much for bearing with us. This is the grand final.
You're not getting a Christmas card from them this year, I don't think.
It is going to be map number 2 here, guys. This is epic. This is quite a special one. I know we get a lot of grand finals in CS, but this map and these 2 particular teams, it's such an anomaly. We're not sure what's going to happen.
It really, like this would, if I were to look at this, I would have said this would have been map 7 and a best of 7.
Yep.
Right? Like it would have just been the one that was left over at that point. Somehow we find ourselves here. As Astralis' pick, remember, and you made a good point. Zonix up there doing it on his own. Nuke's banned out. Inferno's still in the pool, and he picks Cash. Without Glaive there, would Glaive have agreed? Being the in-game leader, knowing perhaps the style. Glaive might agree because he pushes up, gets Edward, snaps back at Zeus, and he finds Electronic through the smoke as well. Device gets Simple, and oh my goodness, Astralis with a 4th round potentially, as it's Flamey left in a 1-on-5.
Well, that changed very quickly, didn't it? It's a clean sweep from Astralis. It was Glaive who was investigating towards middle, gets the double kill, falls back, his teammates help him out, and it all falls apart for Navi. They have got money to buy into this round, no problem, but still, that's a convincing round from the Danes there. My goodness, 5-4. A lot of rounds to be played here. This could be the final map if Navi can continue to look impressive, but this was excellent. Gets the first kill on Edward, and that should have been a trade. Zeus, I'm sorry, had to get that kill. That was a definite conversion. That was a trade all day long. And didn't get it. The round falls apart at that point. And we'll see it go with the AWP in the hands of Simple, the Device, who has found his first kill, his second in fact, is now on the board. He'll also have the weapon.
Glaive on 10 and 5 leads the way. So too Flamey. It's been fantastic. Boost up corner. Oh, Device was ready for it, but not quick enough to respond. I say ready. He wasn't really set looking directly at it, was he? But he certainly was aware that it was a possibility. And tries a cheeky little wall bang. And they'll regroup Navi side. In fact, everyone's going to back off with the exception of your anchor player. That's Edward. I know it sounds weird to say anchor on a T side, but this is really a position that every team leaves someone at, trying to capitalize on rotations and information based on noise.
Yeah, infamously Stewie from IBR player there every single round, right? Does a great job of being unpredictable still, and wall banging and just being a nuisance, essentially.
Used to be Twist as well for Liquid. I think they've changed that a little bit lately. I haven't really seen them on it in a while. But it's yeah, everyone does it. Hiko used to have it covered off at certain points. Electronic. He's got it covered off.
This is
Zipix is still occupied. They do have quad watching this direction, but a single smoke would negate that.
If they go B now and leave Electronic in that position,
even better.
That would be godlike. I'm not sure that's going to be the play, but he's giving himself up. He just wants to show they might be attacking this side of the map. 20 seconds remaining. Who strikes first?
They still had the chance. They could have wrapped through because the rotation from Truck, I'm not sure they get by this crossfire. That bomb, you're right, had an opportunity that they weren't aware of, and it's a clean sweep from Astralis on the site with the exception of one. That's all they've lost. Simple doing what he can, but 7 seconds, the round's already gone. He just wants to hold the op at this point in time, and Zeus will just hang on to the AK as well. Obviously, they don't have the information we have. That's quite clear. We have radar, we have X-ray, we have all of it, but you're absolutely right. If they push through middle, they could have wrapped back up through heaven and dropped to the side.
I feel like you were given a gift that Electronic is in towards a ticket booth completely undetected. There was no presence of mind there from Astralis. He could be in that position. You've got 3 players in middle. I feel like going through the vents there, taking a bit of a gamble and leaving Electronic, who's been hitting everything, to kill rotators. I feel like that was the play, but obviously many different things can persuade players to go where they see fits. Went towards A, and the crossfire, as you mentioned, has looked way too strong. 5-5. Astralis, though, you can see, still not feeling comfortable. They did not expect to play this today in the grand final. But managing to string a few rounds together, but saving weapons. Navi still have the AWP and AKs. Flamey will be on the Deagle. I feel like the way he's playing right now, Zeus needs to drop that AK for him. Zeus is struggling on the trades, and Flamey is looking so strong in the 1v1 duels right now with that AK. That has to be the call for me, but this has been a talking point of Navi throughout the entire year, to be honest.
Towards A-main. Glaive challenging. Bit of utility deployed in each direction. No one commits to a fight. There's a commitment to a pretty broad angle from Device, but smoked off of it. Is he really going to think about pushing the backside of that smoke? Might just hold it. That's wise. Pushing it, not really. Not. Oh, there is enough. There is just enough to see into Toxic. I wasn't sure he had this vision. Now he does. Gets away from it. Flamey was staring him down. Simple got that information. Did not make contact. Device gets away.
Oh, jumping through the flames. Has got the smokes to protect him, but he's got towards the vent, but he's very vulnerable to the HEs at this point. As you can see, can't really jump in the vent. They'll have rifles waiting for him, but Mages coming in for the backstab. He might have a guaranteed kill here. Can't find the timing.
That would have been amazing. He still has reasonable timing. In fact, quickly he's on their back because they weren't ready for that push, so he still takes advantage of it, and he gets 3 from inside of the cubby. confinement, big plays. Navi now left with Simple, who else? And Astralis could take the lead. It would be their first time doing so. Had a tie on 3, it went back Navi's way. Simple gets Dupree, but it's not quick enough to get Device up close, 6-5.
Now I can see Navi have been working on this map. I can see they've got the smokes to deny the Molotov. They've got executions to get mid-control. The problem is when they get that control, it seems that they're not really sure what to do with it. They're not making calls that look like they're formulating an idea and how they can destroy a bomb at this point. You can see like there's a lot of like one-player commitments going through there, jumping through flames and not really having the flanks covered whatsoever. Suggests you know what you're doing to get to that position, but you're not really sure how to close it out. But we'll see CZ here, the scout, and I thought he was going to connect that. Device is ready for it though. Simple, taken out of the equation. Astralis should have the 7th round on the board here. Fantastic grenade, does a ton of damage. Flamey down to 19, and they're just going to have to go in towards a in vain, I would say, at this point, as Zipex is looking like a turret right now, that AK-47.
Zipex is certainly, but we actually had to reset his aim quite considerably until they walk out, and they reset his aim for him by putting it all in one direction. And I'm not talking about a musical act. 7-5. Astralis take a 2-round lead.
Amazing. Nice work from Zipex. No doubt in my mind he was going to mop up that perfect position. They didn't have the utility to push him back. Nails the spray.
I was a little worried that he had to go that far right, though, right? The second player could have just headshotted him with the pistol.
But that's what we need. Even though the eco frag's short, he had such a quiet first map. You need to kind of raise him up now. If this does go to a 3rd, he'll be ready to get back in the zone. Gilil out for Electronic. AKs on the rest of them. They're simple plays. I say that with no pun intended. They're more basic approaches, I should say, towards the A side, where they send 5 players in. That's what's going to work. That's the kind of plays Astralis don't know how to handle. And if you go in his default to get picked off 1 by 1 by a dynamic device, I feel like that's where Astralis will run away with this game. I love that approach. They just chose a bomb site, went in together, and played heads-up duels.
Imagine if Simple played on big. Simple plays, but they're big plays. Like the worst unintended puns ever. Dupree inside of the vents, not yet blown out. He's occupied that space, therefore you can deduce it by taking middle. Use the element of surprise if anyone wants to go toward the checker room. They're going to clear him, and he's forced out by Molotov. Device takes the initiative to realize they want to clear mid, they're probably going to peek it, and if they're going to peek it, so am I. Opshot wins it out. Dupree goes back in aggressively after the Flames have burned themselves out. Perfect flash. Zeus fully blind. Dupree gets a free kill toward it. I'm not even sure he was fully blind, but blind enough to not react.
Just not the greatest positional setup, really. Very vulnerable to that fence. It will be Dupree continuing to find kills here, and Glaive will back him up. Astralis look like they're more comfortable now. They're not as shell-shocked as what they were at the very beginning of the map when they were getting run over by those very basic approaches to the kill for Edward Elise, but that's probably all he gets. He finds a 2nd. No chance for a 3rd though, because Magus outpositions him, and Astralis are officially on fire at this point. We go 8-5, they'll win out the half, and money, yes, maximum loss rate. There's been no plants in a while, actually. There has been a post-plant situation, I don't think, since they won the last round. So they're going to have to take either a partial buy here or a very weak investment with Galil's. Device started off weak, but he actually is finding all the opening picks now, and Dupree playing with confidence is great to see. Glaive looking like his usual self as well. Major said we said guaranteed frag on this one.
Interestingly, I don't know what to expect when we swap sides, because if Navi have been playing it, Astralis haven't. Do they have tactics? But at the same time, if Navi is not really performing on the map, how do they communicate on the CT side? Because there's so much coordination required in rotations and being able to trade off of each other. It's really wide open on both sides of this. I'm still not convinced either way, but I am convinced by Dupree. I'm not, now that I see Electronic get behind them by way of a smoke and flash to work inside the B site. Majitsk, he wants to make up for it. Knows there's one underneath, but forced off by a Molotov. It's still only a 1-man advantage for Astralis. I say only because, more importantly, the bomb is working its way toward the site. Molotov tries to deny the default. Edward, I think he was optimistically hoping there was a gap in it. There is now, but the nade's on top of it. He's got to be so careful. Further smoke. He's going to plant. He's got to go soon. Device is holding the cross angle. I think he's better to walk forward with the smoke down and actually walk back into the site, because if he crosses in this fashion, All right, Device was forced off by a flash. That'll work as well.
He'll right-click this, presumably, or try and drop it in towards A main. It looks, or B main, I should say. The smoke is down. And here we go, the 2 versus 3. Great shot from Device. He's nailing absolutely everything right now. Does it finish with a wall bang? I don't think so. In Simple, surely can't do anything with this.
Gonna work back in the smoke. Knows they're close. We've seen him fall down from the top and find shots in this position. There's a lovely graffiti on the wall to remind us he's got this position again, but they're on the bomb inside, behind the boxes, and Magisk will hold him off. Astralis find number 9.
They had the player without the kit defusing there as well, I think. Oh my god, that was close. Simple did everything he could. Finds the first, he nails that second shot. I reckon he did it. But round 15, the hype slowly coming to a halt. Navi was such a fantastic start. The wheels are starting to fall off now. You can see their weaknesses on this map. They don't really have enough mid-round presence to really close out the rounds. They've got a nice idea and some grenades they've been working on. But it doesn't look like it'll be the map that does it for them. But I'm still excited. If Dust 2 comes up, that's going to be great. Let's see if they can find round number 15, though. It's going to be Electronic trying to beat the CTs there. He takes so much damage at the start. There's the headshot. Magis will get it. And now Simple looking for any sort of push in towards A main, but he just finds the smoke instead.
Xyp9x. 1 of 3 in the triangle. Interesting setup. Him in front, great. He'll back off of it. The triangle being the third back toward the truck position. Trying to spot the smokes at this point. Xyp9x is going to burn Edward alive. Blave's still holding on to 450. He's found by Flamey. Xyp9x, look how close he is to that door. Spray through and he's gone, but he's really looking forward to them not doing that and maybe walking past his position. And not sure he's aware of that. Simple's in. Smoke fades, Xyp9x gets the angle. Zeus trades him as he has nowhere to go at that point, but it's fine to get Simple. It's better because Device is now on the flank. Timing is everything. And Flamey, inside of this door the whole time, is going to have more flames in front of him to try and walk through. Nade goes outwards. What, 10-5 for Astralis on the map we weren't sure about? Maybe Zonic knew exactly what he was talking about.
Well, this might sound a little bit strange to say, perhaps an oxymoron, but as soon as Navi started overthinking situations and trying to play smart, I thought like that's when it started going wrong, because when they just went for the very standard, okay, let's go A, one smoke, let's go in together, they looked amazing. They were shutting it down. They looked like there was no response. As soon as they went to defaults and tried to work picks, you could see, yes, they had some smokes they wanted to try. They had some little mid-takes they want to flirt with, but Astralis looked way too comfortable at that point. A couple of close rounds towards the end, but there was a spell of 7 rounds for Astralis at the tail end of the first half. Dust 2 looks likely as Navi begin to drop off. Remember, this is considered a T-sided map. They only get 5. They're going to need the pistol here. Here was the grenade destruction from Magis, and he followed up with an AK headshot as well. As there it is, the wall bang. I think it was a dink followed up by the incendiary, but great recovery from Astralis once again, playing off the back foot.
Third map is Dust 2, also a bit unorthodox in this series. Astralis really playing everything lately.
Navi played that against Liquid recently and really did not look like they knew what they were doing at all on the map. They looked lost at times.
Our second fiddle. 6 and 12 for Electronic. He hasn't really been the same support system. Flamey has, though. That certainly helps. Blade, good shot on the first. Edwards followed it up. Still on top of the catwalk position, trying to dance back and forth. Simple finds 1 in the mix. So too does Flamey. It's the advantage, therefore, for Navi. Bomb down inside of the side as well. As Device looks desperately to try and find a shot out for the door. In fact, trying to bait them in. Simple just says, you can stay there. Go to your room, time out, shut the door, don't slam it. I used to slam my door all the time when I got sent to the room.
That doesn't surprise me in this
No, it was hilarious the first time I was strong enough to slam it past the door frame, and then it locked me in the room, and Dad was like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it there. Enjoy that one. Karma. Xyp9x and Device try to find their way out, and Flamey already watching to make sure that's not gonna happen. It looks like Navi will at least get the good start in the second half and go one further round forward. Keep in mind, they won the pistol in the first half, and Astralis still found 10-5.
Much needed pistol there from Navi. After losing 7 rounds in a row in the first half, you feel like they needed a bit of good news to get their heads back in the game. It will be 10-6. Astralis forced 4 in the second round of the first half. I don't think they'll be doing that here on Cash on the T side. We'll see. Should be the full eco of AKs in the third. That's the standard play, but Navi need to be careful of their purchases as well. Oh, man, this is crazy. I was about to say, okay, they buy up now. I was about to say they're going to go in 3 USPs and get rifles next. They haven't. They've got 2 FAMASs. Last minute purchases, the MP9s. They're still going to struggle, though, against those AKs. It always makes me a little bit nervous seeing these setups, knowing the AKs come out next. Hopefully they can get an AWP on Simple with some money farmed here. We'll see if that's the case.
Zeus spotted. Throw a nade out in that direction. Device perhaps west of that, or just managing to make contact to get information, has already left the scene. Electronic waiting behind the forklift. We're to peek out. It's pretty straightforward so far from the CTs. Hold all the lines. Actually pushed up a little bit toward B main because they've already made contact over there. Defense, Simple, Electronic, Edward. Oh, but I'll get the chance to say everyone's name in this because they've got to rotate over. There's Flamey.
There he is.
So far it's everyone. Zeus just needs to get a kill and we'd have a team ace, but Flamey's going to go ahead and deny that. But win the round nonetheless for Navi.
Absolutely so. The comeback begins, but this is the round I was worried about because remember the AKs come out and they had a plethora of SMGs and FAMASs, but there it is, the Simple AWP is purchased. Now that is some good news at least because that means they have a bit more firepower, a bit more bites as they get into round 18. The SMGs just wouldn't cut it. Simple, I know he plays Cash, he plays a lot of online on his stream, and Cash is one of the staple pug maps. I'm sure he's ready to go and find some picks here for his team. Where is he positioning himself towards? Actually goes towards B. As Electronic with the MP9. Now this is a brave push. He's going to spot Do3 and actually get the frag. Surely traded out. Needs to hide. Could have gotten the lockers there. Decided to challenge again. Yeah, there will be a 4-on-4.
At that range, the challenge isn't really worth it. You're right. Could have just played lockers and been a pest at that point.
Yeah, just got flashed in or something. Like, made them expend utility, just re-peeked it. That wasn't really the play required. But this one is Simple. That's what we want to see from him. Is he going to get another? Surely not. Trying to push the smoke down. It's a perfect angle. He's lined up for 3. Oh my God, Simple! He does it again. He is so good at this weapon. It's now a 3 versus 1, and he's hungry for blood. And of course, he nails it. 4 kills for Simple. It goes 10-8. And it looked like he was done. He was being smoked off, flashed as well, but he always finds a way, Matt. That's pretty unbelievable how he always looks so efficient.
Well, and you called it. You said get him on the op early. The second shot through the smoke as he gets there, they're already looking at him, and he's still, not this one. Watch this. Boom. It just goes down without even knowing what hit him. Zipix as well, perfect headshot position. Incredible round, and it's now 10-8. Navi bringing this back. Remember, they won map 1. This is suddenly becoming a very, very interesting series against Astralis.
Objectively, he shouldn't even go for that last kill either, but it's Simple. Like, do it, man. If you can start lighting the scoreboard like that, put the fear of God in Astralis, then do it. Anyway, Deagles, Kevlar, no nades, and the shots rattled off towards the boost, not gonna land.
Deagle shots through the door, no one able to spot behind Red Crate. There's a chance for the Deagle to find one further at mid as well, but it's Electronic still holding strong with the M4. Magisk, meanwhile, gets one. Oh my goodness! Simple walked in and just got demolished. Device gets Electronic, and watch out, Astralis, just as I say, are in pressured situations. Show off that all they need is a little pistol and a bit of luck. I don't know if I call it luck, to be fair. Those were some pretty skillful shots.
It's Magisk again. He's done that so many times this tournament. 3 Deagle kills. And Flamey can do nothing but sit back and wait. That takes the wind out of their sails. It was looking so good after the Simple procedure with the AWP. They have a bit of cash, but I say that it's going to be Flamey who will have around $5,500, just knocking on the door of 6K with the FAMAS. Simple can afford the AWP, but the rest of them around $1,000. So he has to save this FAMAS to this one to even have a buy.
Oh, they tried it.
They went for the run boost? I missed it. Okay.
It's one of those things you just try and do at this point that really doesn't matter. I'd love to see, it's only I think in maybe 3 or 4 cases, one famously for Fnatic really had a factor in the round.
Yes, that was a long time ago as well.
Oh, it was like 20, I want to say 14 even? It was 15, I think, 15, because Cash wasn't really played that frequently in 14. It was still kind of the North American map. The old textures.
That's right, it has a bit of a revamp, hasn't it?
Apparently it's in for another one. We saw some changes kind of teased, if you will, on FMPONE's Twitter. A curved wall, perhaps, on the A site.
There it is. Mage has got to be over the moon with that one. That was sick, wasn't it? My God. Nice shots, Emil, says Edward.
They are over the moon, Henry, because they're to the stars.
Exactly. It all works. Well then, tactical timeout, a chance for everyone to catch their breath, especially Mages. How he pulled this one off, I have no idea. Edward challenged first. It was this shot he could do nothing about. Zeus trying to get in position to shut it down, but oh my God, Simple even got a dose of his own medicine. As we go round 20, it's 11-8. Astralis now with the advantage financially. Looking to take us to Dust 2. What a map that will be, but remember, Navi have not looked good on that. If it gets to Dust 2, I'm putting all my stock in Astralis. I feel like they will just run over them on that map. Navi giving a few away now to Simple by the AWP here. He's got $7,000 as the average damage per round. You see it's Zeus and Edwards, the names right there at the bottom, 23 ADR. Still chance to pull it back. Simple does by the AWP and Flamey. They've tried to make up for the fact they don't have a lot on 3 players with having absolutely everything on 2.
Device waiting to see if there'll be any aggression. Interesting play to Molotov back toward the door, because then they can flash in and it's really a 2 versus 1. Normally you have one facing the wall, and you bait them to that, but solid play, performance from Navi. Still though, they get one roasting in the flames. It's Edward that will go down behind the forklift, and it leaves us in a 3-on-3 with quite a bit of time, which means Astralis can actually start to dissect the map.
Surely Glaive doesn't face check this. He's just holding the angle at this point.
I don't know why you would.
No, there would be no reason to.
Oh dear. That smoke changed it. That's wise. That I can agree with. They'll go with a second one as well. Forklift. Simple's aware of that immediately though. Look at the result. Tries to get a pre-fire toward the door. Still worried about middle because the player at B can't get there. It's Flamey on both ops on the site, trying to do something with it. Zipex gets over the top. Simple snuck away though. Forklift position. Glaive is aware of the fact that can happen. With a smoke down, it's the only visual, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Access to the site with vision without going gray through that.
Yeah.
And he's able to watch it.
That was a nightmare for Navi. They had 2 orbs holding the A site, and Astralis still had all of their utility. They dropped 2 smokes to allow them to get close to the bomb site. Flash over, Molotov on a forklift as well. You've eradicated so many risks at that point. If you jump up on the bomb site, those AWPers don't stand a chance. And Zeus will fight valiantly, but that force buy, that might be the game in itself. It's 12-8 with full eco here. Nothing can be purchased by Navi. That's almost certainly going to be 13-8. I just don't see them stringing together 7 rounds or so to even get back into this. I don't see a world where it happens. Astralis look like they're very comfortable at this point. It's only when Simple lights it up with like 4 kills, it's when the rounds get super hype. But this was perfectly played by Glaive & Co. Nails Simple that. And that's the round confirmed. Full eco coming in, just USPs, and I think 1 P250 for Zeus.
12-8. B stack. Saw Zeus jumping toward the boxes. I thought maybe they were going to go for the skylight boost. He didn't go for it. No one else seemed to be interested.
Hold on.
That full stack, though, they swing out. Now, I think 3 were... Yeah, I was going to say, I think 3 were spotted. So immediately they're going to back off on this.
And that's fine. That's the one SMG. We normally talk about throwing in the MAC-10, because even if you give that away, not only have you given up the fact that you know it's a stack, get them in a MAC-10 against Armored is almost nothing for them. So that's fine. He either gets a load of kills or nothing from it. They'll go towards A, and this will be a great score. You can see it all being picked up.
Oh, okay, Simple. He still wants to showcase a little bit of flair and perhaps a whole lot of confidence.
Enough to buy an AWP.
And that's a great point as well, because they're on an eco. He now gets $1,500 for that knife, and that brings out an AWP, so absolutely worth it.
Well then.
Called for Edward. Just to note, I haven't seen it as much this map.
He's one of the players struggling, so maybe that will be the solution. 13-8. I'm not sure Navi have it in them to even get the double digits at this point. Astralis look way too composed. Round 22, Flamey might consider pushing in towards A main here, going to be boosting up instead, but you can get shot here. Dupree waiting for the Pronax boost first, but they're actually getting up on Shroud. And we'll see if anything comes of it. It's Dupree, who was using the AWP, remember? Pro League Finals, more than happy to pick this weapon up, even on a T-side gun round. He doesn't necessarily give it back to Device either. He's very good and very quick with this weapon.
Flamey.
Oh, he knows.
He does. Well, Dupree, I mean, he's looking up in that direction. He might well be aware. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Electronic apps. There's paint on the wall that wasn't there before. He's got no idea what hit him. He didn't even have a chance to fire back, and Edward needs to get up on catwalk to make amends with it. Sees them going down below. Fires straight onto them. Can't get the kill. How awkward is this? Pistols for both. Flamey comes out on top, tries to do a little bit of damage on his Xyp9x as well. But it's a 2-on-2, and Bomb is picked up. Magisk fantastically takes out middle and gets the shot toward the side. He'll follow it on to Zeus. 14-8. Dust 2 might be where we decide this series.
Not the prettiest Counter-Strike.
We didn't expect it to be, though, did we, on Cash?
Quite ugly at that point, but still, they get the job done. Very awkward towards the forklift, but it's 14-8. Money ruined again. They can't even justify a force buy, I don't think. They're going for Deagles and CZ. A nice little idea from Navi, but they really had to carry that momentum on. As soon as Mage just won that round of the Deagle, it felt like it was over. That's when Astralis got right back on their feet. They're looking for map point here. Dust 2 certainly on the cards. Will this be map point? Should be. We'll see if this mid defense, bit of a mid stack in fact, will work out for Navi. They're counter boosting.
They're gonna try it. Everyone's here. We can't see anyone because we're inside of smoke. Device finds 2. He gets away with it. He gets to the high side of the roof and therefore had vision on both sides of it. Edward will get Xyp9x back, not after losing Flamey to the same man. It's 4-on-1. That's totally what I was going to say, as Edward gets found by Device holding on to the door. This could be map point for Astralis.
I think it might be.
And if Astralis somehow turn this back on Dust 2, like you say, Navi, they struggled against Liquid, how many series are we going to see them play different maps, different circumstances, and still win it? Still win out. This series determines who becomes the first back, or I shouldn't say back-to-back. In Navi's case, it would be, but double blast champion as well. We could call them the astronauts because they'd have blast off.
It's gonna be Zeus with 1 smoke and a bomb down. 4 players to fight. That is absolutely map point now. Astralis haven't given much up. We've had some spectacular moments on Cash. Don't let the scoreline mislead you because it's been very exciting at times. Zeus can't find that, and indeed Astralis are on fire once again. Is this where it ends? They're going to need 7 in a row just to take us to overtime here. I don't think that's even worth talking about at this stage. Navi, if you are just joining us, don't play this map. They've been a decent battle. Simple had some fantastic moments. Flamey did as well. He had some epic plays in the first half, but overall, Astralis, yes, this is one of their weaker maps, one they don't play as much, but they're looking like a much better squad as they head towards B, looking to close things out quickly. It'll be Device leading the charge here with the AWP. Can he find the first pick? It might be available to him. A player drops down. And it's actually Flamey that nails the shot, but he's going to have to find another one here. Gets all 3. This is absolutely brilliant from Flamey, but it might be a little bit too late at this point.
It isn't if Simple can pull the aggro. He's trying to do that, but the smoke still favors back in the direction of Dupree because he can go missing on Simple screen, and Flamey's going to get taken down by Xyp9x in the end. Still, though, they have the man advantage. Just to note, Zeus currently sits at 4-16. He's the absent man this time. Xyp9x in the last game. Zeus this time, both on the side that looks to succumb, but this one's not done as of yet. Overtime, still a possibility. It's a long way to go, but not with Electronic hitting shots like that. Bomb down inside of the site, and I think 15-9 is seemingly inevitable, although it's the Minister. What sermon does he have today? Knows there's one above. Simple firing shots in the site will reveal his position, but now is aware that he's on top of it. His headshot. All they were doing that whole time was waiting for Edward to get position.
Well, there we have it. 15-9, 6 remaining now. As we'll see Astralis still with absolutely plenty of cash there. No problem in that department. This is great from Flamey, though. Gets 3 kills. They all line up for him. You can see it's a nice little play from Astralis, just trying to close things out with a contact set up towards the B bomb site. But there it is. Nice work from Navi to shut it down. 3 kills at the start of an orb. Should yield a round victory, to be honest. As we'll get into a double org setup for Edward and Electronic here. Simple still on the AWP. Still map points as they'll head towards B, and a much faster approach this time, it seems. They don't think Flamey will position himself in the same spot again. That seems to be true.
Oh, Dupree, he went wide. Zeus finally hits a shot that matters to hold it off. He gets taken down afterwards, but Flamey standing in the corner, spotted. He thought he was dead. Magisk nearly gave himself up as a result of that, looking away before the man actually had perished. Still doesn't pull it back, Edward. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Yep, now we toggle that all day long. Shoulder sticks through though, and Xyp9x always had the advantage. The one not in the smoke usually does come up as the winner in that situation because as it fades, he sees before the man inside sees himself. Simple. Knows that the bomb's down in the middle of the site, though. How is that for a chance at it? Smoke, the last one. No, it's a flash. Excuse me, there isn't a smoke left over. It was in the air. Wasn't sure what was thrown. It's certainly going to be vision for Simple, but forced out of the corner. Device on the AK wins the exchange. Magisk wins the round, wins the map for Astralis. Dust 2 is where we decide the last tournament of 2018 and Blast Pro Lisbon.
Now remember, Navi win both pistols, convert both of them to 3-0s as well, and still their scoreline is a resounding victory for Astralis. They're 16-9, but there were some epic moments. We had some great flamey highlights. We had Simple looking fired up, Electronic as well. That just bodes well purely for the fact because it's Dust 2 Nexus plays very similar to Cash. It's very fast-paced, it's spawn-dependent. The AWPers can do huge work. Yes, Navi have looked weak on that map in the past, but that was last week. Hopefully they've plugged those holes and we can have an epic finale here to close things out.
Yeah, I mean, already this is pretty impressive. Was it going to be an unknown entity going on to Cash? It was sloppy. I think we expected that. Dust 2, though, again, it's another map where Simple can go off, but Astralis, they coined, the core of this team coined the meta, created the whole meta of rotating the op at long, playing at car, swing position, that whole setup, and Xyp9x is integral to it once again. This is a tough order now for Navi.
We have one more map of 2018 left. That's going to be Dust 2. You've got to make sure you're here to catch it. We're going to take a break, and so are the players. Make sure you come back.
We're going all the way for our grand final here in Lisbon. It is a battle of two teams with a storied history in the game of Counter-Strike 1. should be much stronger than the other, given their success in the end of 2018. In fact, I should just say 2018. And talking of success in 2018, I've got lovely Chad Sponge Birchall joining us. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've missed you. You know, what have you been up to?
I've been hiding.
I've definitely been hiding.
Yeah, of course. And I think the fact of the matter was, in a 16-9 game of the unknown, where Navi win both pistols, I didn't know what I was going to expect for that one, right?
Yeah.
That was complete. Like, the fact that they did that in the veto, that's the most impressive thing. I had the thought process that maybe they would have practiced it in their boot camp leading into the Pro League finals. Didn't really seem to be the case. Felt like on their T side, they were just doing the default spread with basic utility. I didn't see any crazy executes come out. Simple to kick things off on the pistol round and look really hot on the T side. And then I think if you flip over to the second half, Magus with the Deagle round from hell.
Especially after all of that hard work from Simple. It was a gorgeous defensive B, and then Magis just, I think it was you, Assembler, or someone said, that's just one of those rounds where Magis doesn't miss.
A magic round.
Essentially. Yeah. I mean, thank you for the praise, Alex. Saying, success is on this side of the table when it most definitely is not, considering how our predictions have gone so far.
No, that was a jinx. It was a jinx. I jinxed the Ninjas in Pajamas.
You definitely took them out of the game. And then I took the clean win for Astralis out of the game earlier with my predictions on the desk for the grand finals. So,
So what do we say now? We say it's going to be a terrible map 3?
Yeah, no one's going to enjoy it.
No one's going to enjoy this. It's going to be rubbish.
Nobody's going to enjoy this. Neither team will win, in fact.
There we go. Caster's curse lifted, as we're going to be venturing, of course, into our third map, Dust 2. First, we have to focus on Catch, because it was the veto itself. But before a bullet was fired, that really garnered a lot of our analysts' interest, due to the fact it really is just not a map Navi played.
It needs to be pointed out that it's not a map that really either team plays. Now, when we say this, it's the fact that Astralis, this is their ban 99.9% of the time.
Recurring, of course.
Also be removing the same map. Now, Navi took a massive gamble here, right? They took a massive gamble trying to get this in. They didn't want to play Nuke, and I admire that. The same thing happened just a week ago with Liquid in the grand final, allowing Train to be the map, and they absolutely shellacked Astralis on that one. Couldn't do a similar thing as the American counterparts, but I think what I liked is the fact that they were willing to take that risk, and they've been taking risks all throughout this tournament. The gamble stacks on their CT sides have been prevalent on both Overpass and on Cage, and the same thing is going to happen on Dust 2. They like to hedge. They like to do 3-man B stacks. So that's cool that they're here to play, and I think that style really suits Navi. When they're the hammer, when they're the ones dictating the flow of the game, they look fantastic.
Yeah, and I think another point, while we have the highlights up, is Flamey. This was the round I was talking about with Simple, by the way, an explosive 4K. But Flamey, he was so hard on himself, as was I would assume the fans on him, as is the way of Counter-Strike. But he had a fantastic performance on Cash. He was, desperately trying to join Simple in pulling his team across the line, and I think that's only positive signs for Flamey.
Yeah, the double AWPs, right? Looking good.
He's an AWPer now.
He is capable of AWPing, in fact, yes.
Yeah, we can just call Flamey the tertiary AWP.
I think, with this team, the way that they use it on the CT side, he's always been that go-to guy to bring it up. But when he's been slumping, he's not hitting any shots.
Absolutely.
It's quick to go from, I had a bad tournament, I make a tweet, the next tournament, I'm on fire. That's a crazy thing to think about, right? Because he's turned his performance around. It's been day and night between the two events, only a week apart.
Here's a question. Both teams, one map up, August. Both teams, 1-1. Should be even, should be level, but are they truly as even as the scores indicate, or have we still got a real front runner?
Oh man, this is kind of tough to say, isn't it? Really, considering our predictions and how things have gone.
You just kind of don't want to say anything.
I don't want to say. I'm trying to play this safe now at this point where it's like everything is just going to work out
let's sit
fine,
on the
and
fence.
we're going to get a grand finals, Alex, because we have 3 maps coming up.
Let's sit on the fence, but let's talk about what would need to be in the server for both teams to win. You can choose Navi or Astralis. Pick your poison.
Who would need to be in the server?
As in, I'm just going to. I'm talking about win conditions between Astralis and Navi. You can choose which team you fancy.
Astralis, once again, referring to the bedrock. We saw it there on Cash. Rough start, still managed to keep it together. Once they hit their groove, they're going to grind it, so that's the win condition for them.
Yeah.
And then, well, I think it's always been the same thing for Navi, or at least in these past couple of tournaments. Somebody apart from Simple has to show up.
I feel like the gamble on Cage, it didn't look like they practiced anything crazy. To me, means that if we go back to map number 1, we take map number 2 out of the equation, right? We pull that bad boy out. Because
Forget about it.
That's a map where they didn't look prepared at all, right? It was. I would hazard a guess that Simple would have been calling the T side of that map, because Zeus, if he doesn't play it, he doesn't play a lot of FPL. Simple plays all that stuff, right? And he's been playing that map historically, so it's one where he would have felt more comfortable on making the calls. Yeah. Now you look at map number 1, where they were prepared, a map that they play. they did fantastically well. They were all over Astralis. Now, Astralis had had a couple of players very quiet. Device, a very slow start. Debris had a good map 1, went missing on map 2. It was the likes of Glaive, the likes of Zipnix, and Magic's with a lot of impact plays to, you know, get them in those crucial rounds and get them across the line. A 16-9 victory, it's quite a decisive one. Yeah. And with both pistols going in the way of Navi, you have to say great performance from Astralis. But on map number 1, which is historically a home map for Astralis, they looked flat, and Navi looked well prepared. So Dust 2, it's more of a middle ground for both teams.
And I'm looking at the head-to-head. This is just not a map they play. It's certainly not an offline environment. The only Dust 2 I can find is in the online season of EPL. Like, there hasn't been a Dust 2 between these two in quite some time, you know, rolling all the way back to middle of this year. And so there is a lot of unanswered questions there, I suppose. Astralis, though, Dust 2 tends to be quite a prolific combo. Even if you rewind to a different jersey, August, when the map was previously in the pool, it still worked for the Danes.
Sure it did, but what really works for the Danes now is that they've got the pedigree of closing out finals and taking trophies. So they're going to have the confidence going into a third map, whereas Navi, now they're like, oh Christ, we didn't win in 2. You know, like, now we have to go into the grind battle, now we have to really draw it out, and are we going to have the confidence if we get shaken? Because we have seen quite a bit of emotion out of Navi this tournament, all tournament long. Zeus throwing his hands up in the air, Flamey, well, Flamey a little bit, but mainly like Electronic and Zeus showing a lot of emotion. And then Simple just kind of sitting there looking like he wants to murder his monitor. So, I mean...
or anything that shows up on it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean... Right now, it's really going to be a question of whether Navi can get a really strong start, I think, in this. Pick up that pistol, start things off, and put the pressure on Astralis.
What can we expect from the well-prepared Danes on Dust 2, Chad?
Well, I think they do a similar style on their CT side, where they not hedge, but they gamble in certain scenarios. When they think it's going to be a long take, they'll do their 4-man over towards A. They do the double AWP on the CT side with Dupree and Device roaming around. The one that I need to look towards is Device to make sure that he can have a strong start with the AWP, right? He went 0-0-7. I'm not sure how long that carried on. But
license to kill?
He was struggling there in the early stages. That can't really be a similar thing, because this is a map where they can play a lot faster Navi if they want to, and the game plan, I'm feeling they're going to have a lot more depth than what they had on K-Shred then.
And do you think Dust 2 lends itself to Navi's, you call it foot-on-throat approach with the economy, when they do keep throwing an AK in Simple's hands, a CZ, a Scout? Does this work with that map? Is that going to intersect nicely?
Yeah, they should be able to find a lot of territory, right? And if they do lose the pistol, they get the plan, they'll drop those AKs across, and you can find a lot of heads-up duels, right? That's the fact of the matter, is Dust 2 historically lends itself to that. But I have been saying, in more recent times, it's felt more structured than Dust 2 ever has, right? I feel that teams have been taking a slower approach, doesn't feel as scrimmy, because long is now harder to take. The CTs actually, if you're playing a spawn based off CT side, you're going to beat the Ts there, get that Molotov in every time. The only way it works is when you do the Hail Mary, get the corner smoke, and you're using all of your flashes just to get a player into pit. So I feel it's not as scrimmy as it once was, but if anybody was going to make it that way, it's going to be Navi.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to stop it, it will be Astralis. A Device on that AWP is always a big conversation in itself. That dynamic AWPing was something that a lot of people found very interesting in seeing him diversify. I was going to ask another question, but it sounds like they're chomping at the bit to get into this grand final, so why don't I go ahead and shut the hell up, and instead I'll let the gameplay do the talking. We are going to be taking a quick break, but the Blast Pro Series champions will be crowned after Dust 2, so do stay tuned.
This is going to be a bloodbath today. 6 teams, it's quality over quantity, and everyone seems to be on their game.
Welcome to Blast Pro Series Copenhagen for the 2nd year in a row. It's going to be another tremendous day of Counter-Strike.
Your explaining days are over, because you are sportsmen.
To win this may actually be a harder mental task than winning the major.
Seems like the fans are ready. Are you guys ready? Wow. It's time for the final ingredients. Let's get the teams out here. Swing! Never mind, swinging 6 HP!
Contention here, double AWP setup picked up.
It's another duel for Zipex. There it is, the kills! And there's just one player left! Trying to work into the bomb site, but he faces a legendary team.
Back in the action. I know, my heart's racing right now, like 1,000 beats a minute.
take it up a notch, Copenhagen! Then let's go!
This is going to be good. NIP taking on Navi.
I'm excited for the idea of having Simple in front of this crowd. The best player in the world playing in front of 12,000 plus people. That's going to be exciting.
Step by step, NIP is losing players. They just don't have the ability to recover from it.
But now it's the last one left, trying to fight it through. But Navi, they have looked absolutely incredible, and Simple is there. Your new Blast Pro champions, Navi!
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to the Blast Pro Series Copenhagen 2018 champions, Navi!
I want to win this tournament, and I asked my team to do this because this one is a really exciting tournament.
Hello and welcome back to the Blast Pro Series final. Lovely people of Lisbon, Portugal, are you ready for map 3? Guys, I thought we've really bonded the last few hours. What's going on? Alex, can you get up here, please? Look, can you get everyone excited for map number 3? We're going to Dust 2. Come on, get everyone excited.
I'll try my
best. Come on.
Portugal, é agora que vamos ver quem é o vencedor. Astralis ou Navi. Desses dois, um mapa português, um mapa Tuga. Vamos ver quem é que consegue ser o vencedor da Blast Pro Series em Portugal. Eu só vos peço uma coisa, aquele barulho bonito. Está na hora. Portugal, faça barulho!
That's exactly what I just did.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. Guys, are you ready for Dust 2? Let's get this show on the road, and we cannot wait. I cannot wait. Then we're going to crown our Blast Pro Series champions. This is going to be amazing. Who do you think is going to take it? Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I think the people want Navi.
Do you guys want Navi to win? Okay. But do we have any Astralis fans out there? Okay. Have you enjoyed your day so far in the Blast Pro Series? In fact, let's give a huge round of applause to the amazing production team that have put this together as well. Big round of applause.
Portugal! Portugal!
Wow, this is crazy. This is amazing. I think I might have to move here. I love it. I love all you guys. You guys are amazing. Are we ready to rock and roll back there? Are the players sat down? All right, yes, they are. Guys, here we go. The final map of our Blast Pro final. Let's do this thing one more time. Let me hear you make some noise.
Adam and Alex are having the time of their lives out there, and I don't think they're the only ones. There's about 6,000 screaming fans here in Portugal that have been having a ton of fun all day long.
It's been absolutely amazing here, and what a game to finish things off. We've got Dust 2, one of the most exciting maps to cast. Astralis versus Navi. We just hope the latter turn up. Astralis looking like they're going to take another trophy home, considering the map, but the way Simple and Electronic are playing so far, it all could change. 2018 has been one hell of a year. This could be the final map of it all. It's Simple with the P250 once again challenging towards those middle doors. No real damage inflicted just yet as they set up for the default here. Astralis tried to challenge at the start, but they can't take him down just yet.
Could be and will be, in fact, the final map of it all, Henry, as this is All to play for. Simple already back toward middle spot 2 crossing, so actually some information that they're holding on the mid side. It's Dupree and Glaive. Zipix holding on A main. He's actually up toward Goose with Device down below. So it's not what you'll see with the gun rounds. It's not the default. Late and away boost. Is this spotted? Navi putting bullets that direction. They go up late. A little bit of damage, no kill. Headshot couldn't be found from Dupree, but it's back over toward A. And this is where Zipix has to be perfect. It's Device now behind the boxes. Dupree, he's down below. He gets all 3 bombs dropped. That could be the round in itself. 58 seconds, and all they have to do is protect the bomb. Not to mention a flank. Glaives on the scene, flaming it long, no chance. Dupree, what a round, 4 kills.
What a mess from Navi. What was that Molotov about? I'm not sure if it clipped the part of the wall, but that was designed to go on the bomb site and make a player uncomfortable. If anything, it had blocked their path towards the site. Dupree, great job there. Fantastic work. These are not easy shots to hit, and he nails every single one. It's a fantastic start, and that bomb being dropped down to there. That was round over at that point. What a beast. He manages to get 4, looking very comfortable, and it has to be the full eco now for Navi. 1-0 Astralis, 3 rifles coming out and a couple of SMGs to farm that money.
Device brings out the MP5, MP9, which is the improved version of the gun, despite the nostalgia in the hands of Zipix. Doesn't sound as cool, though, does it?
No.
That's all that matters. Formula E, take note. Glaive takes down Simple. Players remaining, and 5 of them being on one side. That being Astralis, they're just playing out at this point. Pretty straightforward. Dupree's killing it. He's now up to 6 kills, 2 rounds in. Make that 7. Running rampant on Dust 2. Deagle from Electronic. Device has enough of that. He'll actually go upgrade his pistol onto it, because why not? Free weaponry. But 2-0, and no bomb plants. On the cusp of a purchase, but it's not a great one from Navi, so pistols could be an option for them. No, of course not. They're going to go straight to the AKs, not bother with an AWP.
Well, there it is, AK-47s. Remember, Astralis will have the MP9 with Device brings out the AWP. If you have clean rounds, this is certainly an option. And on the T side, though, will they take this long spawn? It looks like they absolutely will. It's going to be Flaming to lead the charge, but the AWP is waiting for him on the other side. Smoke down is decent, and it means Device can't get the pick. You can see him looking away from his screen while he was flashed, hoping he could find the kill blind and through the smoke. It's ambitious, but it doesn't work out for him. They'll boost 1 player on the blue bin here for any sort of long retakes coming through, as Zeus really did struggle on that previous map. Needs to post numbers here, like he did in the first. See if they can pull it back here and get the 2-1. Device is orb though on Dust 2. Scary, scary prospect.
Zeus desperately close to spotting Dupree. In fact, they will get a vision of him when he jumps backwards. It was Electronic that did most of the damage, but he goes down to 36, has to rotate over inside of the site directly, but just will hold backside. Likely be the one to peer out the window should they put pressure in mid. Interesting late cat boost going on right now as well. Device holding the angle. They'll get Zipix up directly. So he's a little bit quicker on the case with the MP9. And he's got Electronic around the corner. Device off angle. Used to be possible in the old version as well. What a flash. That's brilliant. Device couldn't hit the shot, and Zipix, despite having the knowledge they were coming, could do nothing with it. So smoke down, self-preservation from Device. Wants to find that angle toward Cat. It didn't really work out the way he wanted it to. I think he wanted to get on top of the box, so it's actually up here under it perhaps, but he still has an angle to play with, not quite. Electronic has that instead. Simple's got Glaive guns working well for Navi.
Really nice round there from Navi, actually. Doing that nice bit of damage towards Dupree at the start. That sent him packing at the mid position. They get short control. They have long as well. Remember that smoke towards the corner with Device. Missed the shot, had to give it that position. Now that is a textbook Dust 2 play. If you can get short control and indeed long, focus the CTs to stay on the A-bomb. So we talked about this before. That pincer maneuver. If you can apply pressure from long and short with decent utility, you should be winning that round with 5 players up. Navi don't miss a beat. They hit every single shot. Simple now has the AWP, and it's Astralis that have to save weapons. It's going to be Dupree and Magus holding on to their M4s, and I'm not sure they're going to be leaving with them as we hold in T-spawn here. That is going to be Dupree. He probably gets 1, but he's being traded up for sure. There's the first. The trade should be coming in. If he gets all 3, that's a nightmare. There is the trade, though, and it's just going to be Magus holding all the way outside B. So, very, very good round from Navi. We didn't see anything like that in their last approach against Liquid last week. It seemed like T-side was an absolute nightmare for them. but that's much better. As we get into it now, round 4, there is enough to purchase an AWP. Dupree, 8-1 right now, with 4 kills in that pistol. He has the AWP. Now, does he have a decent spawn for long? That would be my guess. And he does, so there it is. He's going to try and challenge that long spawn. Flamey's got it. Has he been given the AWP? He has not. He has got the AK as shots are rattled through. It's Dupree this time trying to find success here.
Dupree. Find the shot out. Flamey manages to cross over as a result of a bit of the utility. A lot of it, in fact. 5 flashes thrown in that direction. Guesstimate, I think it was slightly less, but either way, Glaive, this is clever. They've gotten long. 2 players committed to the cross and the boost, which you've talked about. You can boost there now. That handle, in fact, you can even play. But he wants to take advantage of that by going all the way up middle. Zeus the only one going backwards. Glaive needs to be very careful of underpass. You can see he checks the lower tunnels as a result. Doesn't want to swing to the barrels. Zeus even considering this. Look, peering that direction, using the car for cover. If Glaive went to barrels, you'd almost favor the AK to find the headshot instead. Swinging suicide would be an interesting opposition, but Glaive's gonna go. Right time. Zeus isn't there. He's spotted from lower, though. That means he's got to fight forward. He'll take down Zeus. Everyone at long aware of his position, but he could even be even more pestering than that. Chose to stay. I was going to say if he ran back to T-spawn and just waited to see where the rotations went. Instead, it's going to be Edward and Electronic to find kills. 3 on 4 in favor of Navi. Only just 7 HP is the difference.
Oh, it's Dupree. Remember, he's got the AWP, not Device. He holds on the A side, but it's that same pressure that's available. But actually, 4 players commit towards long. They better hope they have a couple of smokes hit across. They'll have to flash over, and there is the second smoke. So they're going to find a nice clean entry towards the bomb site here. Dupree has to get towards Gandalf and hold for the best at this point. He needs multiple frags. The only way they win this round if he takes down 2 while they try and go for the plant at this stage. There's the first attempt. Can't nail it. It's going to be his teammate. Has to try and pick up the pieces here. Zibex can do nothing with it. Surely Dupree is taken down. They're getting too close to his position. He's getting wildly close. No way!
Simple! Just like it was on Mirage in 2015. Just like Mask Map, he finds another knife, jumps around, and gets under the AWP. Simple is having a laugh. It looks like it's going to go 2-2, and he's got a whole lot of money from that one.
It might just seem like a knife kill, it's a bit of BM, but that gets inside your head. If Simple's trying those sort of plays, you've got to know that he means business here in this 3rd and final map. Navi get 2 rounds in a row. The knife play as well. I can't believe that.
If I'm not mistaken, that was a very similar to when he jumped off of the balcony on Mirage. I think it was Nico on Mouse Sports that he knifed that time.
I think so. I think that sounds about right, yeah. Oh my God, who does that? No need, but you love it all the same. You've got to respect it. Dupree painted into a corner. AWP missed the first 2 shots, and Simple's like, you know what, well, I might as well gut you while you're there. It's Edward to actually get the first frag after a nice push from Glaive. Gave Astralis the advantage. And then Simple, once he gets himself on the box, jumps around, nails the first stab. Dupree has to go for the no-scope at that point. Doesn't work out. It's not a big deal. It's not like you knew that much about that, but still, it all counts. It adds to the drama, the pageantry of the grand final. And Magis will be the only player with a rifle here. He's got the AK-47, but he's been tagged up at the start. He goes down to 30 where he's crossing the doors. Dupree will now take the AK, and he has got Kevlar, so that is a good swap. If he had nothing, probably not even worth it, but he'll see what he can do now and see if he can recover after his disappointing finish to round number 4.
Glaive heading down to the tunnels just to check it out. So again, a very forward stance from the CTs. These pistols, they've got position. Zeus making a little bit of noise as well. Is going to pull the attention. I think that's going to go. Maybe not. Zeus up to it. He reacts in time. I thought he might get caught off with his back turned, even the way that he was approaching the stairs. Dupree and away boost with AK. A little more potent than a pistol, which we normally see in this position. That flash didn't go that deep. And actually left the vision for Dupree, but he still gets away with one. Simple through the door, of course.
Oh my, it's the Eagles again. Astralis have been so deadly with them, and it might not be enough unless Device finds a miracle shot here. He's trying desperately to take Flamey down, but it's not going to happen.
How does he only hit Flamey once there?
I know.
It's incredible. It must have literally gone through his legs twice. 2 of those shots looked on to me, but nonetheless, he'll collect what he can in terms of utility, and the kit doesn't matter. Flamey takes the peek, stays aggressive, doesn't even want to give him a chance to set up. And now 3-2 in favor of Navi.
What a game this could be. I want to see this go the distance. I want to see both teams sweat. I want to see those huge clutches. I want to see those spawn plays. I want to see some more Deagle action from Mages.
You want to see spawn play this time. This is a B rush. This is a B play. You're at least going to make contact. You may not go all the way through the tunnels, but 4 players on that side, every matchmaker knows at this point you've got to at least go hold the angles and try and beat the CTs to position. And they may go. They may go on top of it. They're going to go all the way in. Electronic flash. One on window. Molotov there, but they're not accounting for Dupree to already be inside of the closet. And it's Dupree with a Deagle. Finds 2 already, looking to try and swing out. He's got blinded players in front, but somehow can't find a headshot on the easiest one, perhaps. And Edward gets the response.
That's why you don't really want to go on the tightest choke point on the map without running your default. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion, against a team like Astralis. Too much can go wrong, especially if you're not assertive. If one player goes down, you need to be in there. It's still a 3-on-3. Great boost outside. You can see the flank coming from T-Spawn as well. This round is not over.
Not at all. Window for Device. Bomb being planted behind triple so as to be safe from that angle. And Device not really with the confidence as of yet or the information to peek it, but it's Majiskin behind again. These Eagles, my goodness. Hits to an AK. He's going to try and take the echo. He wants to take Zeus's attention. That's why he's committing so many shots. In fact, gets the kill. He wanted his teammate to get inside of the window. Edward can't spray transfer fast enough. Astralis are going to win this, and you're right, those trades go against them. Contact is one thing, committing is another, and Dupree takes down 2 immediately.
I've said it must have been 1,000,000 times this year. If you know your opposition's on an eco or a partial buy, you do not want to go into a quick B play. You need to run the defaults, you need information, you need to flush players out. You've got utility and range advantage. You're not using it. You're actually working with the Deagle and its strengths at that point with one-tap potential and no trades at such a narrow choke point. Dupree, yes, those are godlike shots, but it's so avoidable. You need to make sure there's a chance for you to actually get in there and make things uncomfortable for him. Astralis do it again with the Desert Eagles, and we go 3-3. Navi still have cash. They've got $9,000 on Flamey, 7K on Simple, but gutted. They will be feeling after that one. 93% win rate on Dust 2 this year of land. Now that does not bode well.
That's a small sample size in comparison to many of the maps that they play, but it just goes to, I mean, I'm sure, what's their win rate on every map? Aside from Train at this point, like it's going to be high, right? Astralis has been winning absolutely everything. What a way to end the year this would be. They've already won the Intel Extreme Grand Slam, not Intel Extreme Masters, the Intel Grand Slam. And now you've got Blast. It would be their second Blast of the year. The Major on top of it. What can't they win? But Navi want to end the year with a second Blast of their own, and a good way to head to the holidays and prepare for next year, 2019. What a year it will be. Xipix takes out Flamey to start things off.
Yeah, one of the most exciting and fascinating years, I think, for CS history. 2018 has been a wild ride. Astralis certainly showing their dominance throughout, but we've got some fantastic storylines for 2019, that's for sure. Xipix, he'll take another in this round. That's his second as he holds long and falls back to his teammates as well. That's how you play long. Show presence there. Scare them off, find some kills, and you can see Zeus doesn't even want to challenge that, can't take the risk, but Electronic with a chance here with the Krieg in hand. Wanted to convert that one. It's Dupree on the secondary orb now that gets tagged up, but still a 5 versus 3. Turtling up, that's what you want to be doing at this stage. Run the clock down as much as you possibly can, use the utility smart, and make sure that Navi don't have any sort of access point.
Zeus already out inside of mid. Simple's going to join him. Zeus actually makes contact spawns, but just inside window does better than that. I'm impressed with Zeus this event. Looking sharp. Not so much on the last map, in fairness.
Cash was
completely missing on that, but he shows again here he's up to the task of taking straight duels and winning them. Finds a second one this round, a headshot on his Xipix.
Device waits on the A site. The last line of defense, but there is a rotation in. The double kill. He drops a nuke on short, and now Simple left with 3 kills to find and only 20 seconds to do it. Surely there's no chance as he jumps around the corner. Glaive is waiting for him. What a wombo combo that was. The HG AWP shot into 2 of them. Down they go. Any ideas they had of making their way towards the A site completely shut down. As we go 4-3, that was another buy from Navi, remember, and they don't really have the cash to operate with here. It's averaging at about $2,500, the most of which 3,600 on Flamey, but this was my favorite play. Xipix gets those 2 kills, and a lot of players will be tempted to overcommit at that point. They might challenge for a bit more and get flashy and try and get the highlight clip. He goes back to his teammates. He guarantees victory, and that's the kind of play that makes your team world champions.
Zipix burrowed into the corner, waiting for commitments. At mid, that's going to be Dupree's job with the fishing rod, hook, line, sinker, live bait. Get them inside of the doorway to help his teammate. Up against Pistols. Waits out the shots. Really just keeping the distraction as they run toward mid. They run toward mid. Yes, third for him. Clinical, left, right. He's in a marching formation, and he's got 4. He's looking for an ace. His teammates are going down. Simple! Oh, they're going down, and they're going down fast. He's got the AWP picked up on the aim punch the factor. If he had hit the shot on Glaive as well, my God, what a round of steel.
That could have been the craziest play of the tournament. Oh my God, when the orb came out, I was believing. I was all in on that. Well, a sign of things to come, perhaps. 5-3. Still not running away with it, but looking much more confident. It's going to be Astralis getting their 5th. It looked like that round was done, but all of a sudden, here he comes, the man himself. In a 5-on-1, he gets 3 kills. Almost managed to get himself in a position where he could have got a few more, but there it is. Back towards long we go as Edward not going to be waiting or approaching the challenge directly, actually waiting for the utility here, it seems, as this is a classic Dust 2 default now.
Double mollies down inside of the cave position at long. One to clear the door, one to push them all the way out of it, and that allows Glaive to cross over comfortably. In fact, he's going to push through. I thought he was outside of the door. Is the shadow still as prominent as it used to be? So that's the problem for them.
You have to flash it if you're going to go in late, just like that.
There it is. But even the shadow of the flash shows.
Yep.
I mean, shadows are a problem, I'm going to say it. It's 128 tick matchmaking, 3 fracks, fixed shadows, increased burst fire in the FAMAS. That's my Christmas list.
And cast a voice pack.
And, sorry?
Cast a voice pack.
Yes. Yeah, cast a voice pack.
That's number 1.
Actually, that's number 1, yes. I like money.
Okay. It will be a very easy round here for Astralis. And you are right. The problem is that you can flash that. That's not a pop flash. That's a right-click flash, which is very easy to avoid. If your teammates flash you in, however, that's what you call a pop flash, and you can actually take down Glaive. That was just not the correct approach, I would say. Either way, Electronic will get at least 1 frag here at this point. That's 2-3 going down. There's actually a small chance if he nails his shot with the creep. Oh my God, does he ever? There's a chance now as the bomb can be planted.
No, but Simple actually left the bomb for him because he had the op he wanted to pick toward long, and then he got taken down by a nade. Now Simple's left alone to try and plant. I think the nade would have killed him either way, to be fair, but it just bought a bit more time for Astralis to rotate in. Shinbone shows he thought he was further down, and Zipix too close for Simple's comfort. Makes it 6-3. Astralis on the CT side looking comfortable as we might have expected so far.
I think you might be right there. 3 players survive again, but the bomb has been planted at least. In terms of loss bonus, that's 4th stage. They're averaging just under 4K per player. That's enough for AK armor, 1 smoke each. I would not say you buy up on this one. It's still early stages. You consider it's the best of 1 now with the 2 maps already gone by. This decides it all. You want to make sure that you're winning your gun rounds. You don't want to be relying on Deagles and SMGs and a mix. Bag is AK armor is enough, but I'm not sure buying is the correct decision right here. We'll see what they decide to do. It is going to be Deagles and CZ, so I'm pleased about that. It means they have a few more lives in the future to convert gun rounds. That's what you want to see. Very classic orb spot here from Device. Shouldn't have a problem here. Gets that 1 kill, gets the hell out of there. His teammate joins him as well. At this point, it's just a shooting gallery. 3 kills with the AWPs and Simple, and Zeus surely can't get himself out of this mess. It's now just Zeus. So whatever they had in mind for the play towards lower, completely destroyed at that point.
Shots, steps. Zipix takes down Zeus. 7-3. Astralis on fire, indicating that they've won 5 rounds in a row, so Navi, the pressure starts to mount. They've got guns this time based on the bonus. We'll see if they can make it work. Device getting aggressive, double op starting to work, even defending one another to get them back outside of middle, and Dupree very fast.
Well, there we go. As we mentioned, this is the final map of 2018 at this level of CSGO. It's a shame to see a lead, but I think at this point we could all do with a break. There's been so much high-octane action, so much brilliant CS throughout the year. Let's hope this map delivers on all fronts, and we can prepare for the major, which will be the next big one. We'll see. Glaive waiting along now. He's defending. They're not even checking that position. This is more reminiscent of what I saw last week against Liquid. They have so many oversights, but they can still bring this one back. This shot has to connect, though. It looks like a double kill, potentially. Glaive will take one from the grave as it goes 3-on-2. Zeus down at 33.
Jisk. Electronic. Pretty much is it. Zeus goes back for the bomb. AWP for Zeus in a clutch situation. I don't think I've ever said that before.
So let's just dissect that quickly. You're not going for the fast long take, right? You've waited 20 seconds. I'll talk over this. You waited 20 seconds for the round to begin, allowed the CDs to get in position. You've then executed towards long, which is fine. When you score out a long retake, you're trying to take control and push the CDs back. If you're doing that, though, you need to go in together. Edward was about 10 meters in front of his teammates. He doesn't check the standard positions like this. That is a guaranteed look. You have to check the close range angles. You'll at least have a teammate with you with the synergy to come around together. One's checking blue bin, you're checking the corner, you're checking the pit. You're working as a unit. It's not one player goes down, wait for the call, give it 3 seconds and try and take him down. That's not the way you're going to be at Astralis. You need to be quick on the trigger. You need to make sure you're trading out those kills and using what I would say at points have superior aim on the Navi side. Electronic and Simple on their day can definitely go pound for pound with Astralis. And they're just not demonstrating that on Dust 2, and that really is a problem. They picked this last week and they lost 16-2, I think it was. And they're running out of time at this point. Astralis just in cruise control as we get into another pistol-only situation. Navi who just sees Zeds and a scout. Time running out.
Yeah, time's certainly going to be a problem for them at this point. Getting to 9 for Astralis, even on the CT side, it's such a large order to try and come back from that. They won the lead. They close out on the lead on Overpass. They never were able to mount the comeback on Cash, despite having the pistols to start it off. Dupree, just a quick check back toward mid. I think he may have spotted Simple inside of Suicide that time, so flash out to make sure of it. Gets the angle. He absolutely did. What a play from Dupree.
Love that. Flash over, take his vision away from the angle for a split second, blow his head off. That's the way it's done. And the bomb is down. He might be on for a third here as well. There's his second. His teammate will help him out as he gets dinged. This is looking brutal from Astralis.
Dupree's on 16 kills. He's absolutely slaughtering them. And it's mostly on the secondary off. What a solid performance so far. Yeah, Fix gets back down inside of mid. He's got the M4 to work with. And work he might do. Like a dental drill trying to fire through the door.
Do they fire through doors?
No, but they're the most painful drill in the world.
I guess so. You have a point.
Goddamn dentist. And then they trick you. They say, oh, what a great checkup today. Here's some sugar-free gum so you can get more cavities and come back and do it again, kid.
It's all a conspiracy.
Yeah, it is. Anders, get on that conspiracy.
It's going to be a 5-on-2. Nothing Navi can do here. If they get a bomb down, that is a victory in its own right, if you ask me. They'll try to make their way up. The nade successful lands on Edward, but Zipex, he won't let anyone pass towards the side it looks. He'll be going for jumping shots here. It's actually Glaive that finishes off Edward with the AG. 15 seconds remaining. Might sound weird, but Flamey just wants to die at this point. He needs the cash, and indeed, Astralis, in more ways than one, Matthew, are on fire.
Yeah, they're absolutely killing it right now. That's 7 rounds in a row from 2-3 to 9-3.
Yeah, this is a lovely play, though, wasn't it? The flash over.
So sick.
The fingers on, they didn't flash him. That's not my point. The fact he had to like duck away for 1 second to avoid the flash, and then you're there on the repeat. That's why it's such a sick play.
It's strictly to win the angle, right? Yeah. You know it's up versus up at that point. He saw him in Suicide. We called that when he crossed over. So, yeah, Dupree's thinking 1 step ahead on that one. Glaive, he might be 1 step ahead of Edward. Oh, he's 1 step behind him. Oh, but he's actually not considered. He thought he checked the back of the smoke. Little did he know that Edward was actually fully concealed. That creates a problem. Fast play toward Cat. Dupree's going to have to be perfect once again. He's got support down below in the form of Sipix, who hits the first. That gives Dupree a chance. Headshot position. Oh, my goodness. How precise are these guys? Every single shot seems to work. All into Edward. Wonders 3. He's removed 10, 3, 8 in a row for Astralis.
They get the advantage. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to capitalize upon it and get up together or trade out a kill. But the lack of flashes, the lack of smokes, you could see Device, he got flashed for maybe 2 seconds, and that's just a shooting gallery for a player of his caliber, ready to go. You can see that we're watching it. This is his POV as he plays it, right? He is not flashed, and they're running into his crosshair 1 by 1. It's the same problems they had. As, yes, you got the advantage, try and capitalize upon it, but that phase really does say it all. They're really running out of gas on the Navi side. Don't have much left. It feels like Astralis will close things out in such a poetic way. Not only did the Grand Slam last week, they'll take the final trophy of the year. That's the way it looks right now. If we can get 10-5 for Navi, maybe there's a chance they bring it back, but with this buy, I'm not sure it's going to be finding them success. 2 AKs, Deagles, and a UMP, and they are fully invested.
And we're waiting to see if anyone's going to push through. At this point, I suppose you've got to hope for a little bit of luck on their side. But I don't think Astralis are going to give up too many chances like that to get free kills. In front of the truck. Electronic ducks in behind the box. Just no vision toward him. Tough goes down on the stairs instead. So we'll go towards Catwalk. Well, the pace to hold it for a moment, but there's not really pressure on that position. 45 seconds, as Force just trying to buy out the remaining time, put some pressure on Navi quickly, which they're going to try and do more fatal. Too quickly, it seems, but just he's so controlled, finds 3 yet again. So many multiple spray downs already in this half.
Yeah, well, they put themselves on the plate and they'll devour them at that point. It's going to be another kill. They try a B-split. I'm not even sure you call it that, but Flamey now, 3 versus 1 has to be perfect, but he can't do anything with it. They left themselves $1,000 per player there. They invested what they could. It's another very similar situation. 8Ks, Galils, barely anything to work with. You can see that making calls at the start of the round now, I've been there before. Just when nothing's working, it's like, boys, go for the mid-split. They're pushing through with no flash again. The smoke hasn't even bloomed, and they're just hoping someone goes off. You need to flash those positions against star players, otherwise they'll punish you like that.
This is where you start to wonder as well. The permaban gets left in against Navi. They're not able to pick it up. Or rather, against Astralis from Navi, if you know what I mean, with Cash.
Yeah.
They went on Overpass, but you're not going to see Train. Nuke, they ban out because they know they can't, well, they presume that they can't beat it.
Sure.
You get to Dust 2, the other option was Mirage, but it's Astralis that has the upper hand in the veto because they're the top seed. You're starting to see the lack of depth for Navi in some ways.
I'm not a big fan of the way they approach this map at all. I feel like it needs a lot of work. It shouldn't be part of their map pool at all at this point. But they picked it last week, it fell apart, and this could be a disappointing way to close out 2018 if they can get nothing done here at all. They had one nice spree of rounds, 3 of them. And at that point, Astralis haven't even really looked challenged.
I got a feeling Simple's got no idea. I think he's going down. Headshot. Oh, he's looking Simple. I think he realized the crowd. They started to make a bit of noise, and he got a little anxious, but didn't know where to appear. And then suddenly, Device did appear with the Deagle in the side of his head. Flamey, he's gone as well. He's dead. Sipix with the kill. And we're in a 1 versus 5. It's been not even close, not even convincing, and that's how the half will end at 12-3. 10 rounds in a row for Astralis. And yet again, close to picking up another trophy in 2018. I've lost count as to how many it will be at this point in time. Pretty much all of them since April onward, to be honest.
What seems to be a common trend in CS these days, a team looks ready to go, they've got momentum behind them, they're ready, they call a B rush map, they run into a Deagle stack and it all goes wrong, and that pretty much was it for Simple and Co, wasn't it? Once that round came in, I can't really remember them doing anything else after that. It seemed like that was the turning point, and they get nothing after. They just ran out of everything. The strategies went out the window, the firepower dropped off, they don't get this pistol. I think we know who our champions are going to be. Let's see what they can do here. Bomb still down at T-spawn, but Astralis have got long control. It's Electronic to defend. His aim has been great. He deserves to get this deep into this map and really feel it, the pressure. Apply it to Astralis. As we'll see now, the bomb picked up. It's making its way towards the B side. Flamey's there alone. They've actually pulled over 4 players towards the A side.
Electronic realizes that they've got one in the pit. Simple's going to come over to try and help him find that shot, but that's fine. That's distraction. You're bringing a rotation down Catwalk. You're bringing one through CT. Electronic gets the shot. That's the signal to B. Flamey has to hold him off. Waiting desperately, trying to hit shots, waiting for his teammates to rotate. Zeus will get there. Zeus goes straight into the door with absolutely no support. Magisk and Dupree. Edward at least gets one back. One is not enough. Simple's got the other. That certainly helps it because they've got the advantage. Bomb's still down, however, and lurking inside the middle. Device is found. Dupree's the only one left. Tries to isolate, has to reload, and Navi keep this game going for a little bit longer.
That's what they needed. Flamey, it looked like that round was done. He couldn't connect the shots, the pressure coming in from the tunnels. It was a nice fake there. Dust 2 allows you to do that. You can get long control relatively easy, especially on a pistol round. You flash the CTs off and get a player towards the pit, then you've got presence. You can take vision away. But Electronic very, very assertive at this point. He made sure he kept doing damage and making sure they couldn't push up and pincer him from shore. It funnels him in towards B. That was the objective from Astralis from the very beginning. Flamey failed. Zeus went down as well. But all of a sudden, the kills came in as Simple arrived on the scene. It was a great retake, and now Astralis have decided to force buy here in the second round. Has damage been done? It has not. It looked close, but Dupree's got that AK, and he is hungry for frags here. He knows he's got an advantage. It's unlikely there's an M4 on the other side. As now, they'll make their way out. Are they going to fall back and go for short control? That's a very common approach. You want to get your scouting towards the pit, fall back, retake short, and then go for that pincer we discussed before. But let's see if Device can maybe detect a player behind the car, which is very wall-bangable, by the way. It's paper thin, that old automobile. It's a rusty old thing.
Rust is one thing, protection is another. It does offer some, but not enough, it seems. Xipix just fires over the hood. Makes Simple a hood ornament for that matter. As a spray up on top of the site does Device, but he's actually just going to allow Xipix to get closer. Flamey's still holding on to this support line from Astralis, and it's actually looking promising.
Oh, not the fact that Edward's given up his position now. They know where he is, they can flash him off. He's got to reload at this point. He's got another AUG, that's always handy, but still has to reload that one. Bomb will be planted, presumably for a long side, and how does he do anything with this?
Yeah, how do you get out of here? It's such a tough position. And now he's focused on car, the peak. Oh, I thought Glaive was just going to straight peek him. Could come in, he was aware of it, jumps for information, but they don't have to move. He seems to be fully convinced there's still one at the car, and that could be to his benefit, because if he overlooks that position, as soon as he crosses out to the ramp, that's when he gets peeked, and seemingly doesn't, because that's exactly what happens.
There we have it. Excellent work at that point. Astralis after getting the bomb down in the pistol. So we talked about these second round approaches. If the bomb does get planted, it gives you a huge cash injection. No, you cannot get 5 AKs, but a couple of rifles can come out. Players like Dupree, that long spawn, get that control early, hit your headshots, aware of the positioning towards car. You can see that's a well-drilled team on Dust 2 who are ready to check angles and make sure they go through all the notions required. But still, we get into it. It's going to be a force by, I presume, and Navi will lose the first player, and it's simple. The talisman of the team to be dropped.
Zeus gets boosted, or rather boosted up, excuse me. Electronic, one of the other. 6 of one, half dozen of a baker's dozen of the other. Xipix wants to work up toward the car. Smokes go down, there's 2 of them. Counter smoke means they've got to go wide. Also means that you can boost up elevator and not be spotted doing it, but the headshot still shows. And Xipix able to immediately identify and address that problem. A riddle easily solved. Question perhaps knowing its answer, as the pistols didn't offer much of a fight. They'll back it away and over toward B. They'll hold on to their armor and perhaps pray. Collective prayer.
It's going to take a miracle at this stage. CZ's, a Deagle.
A Christmas miracle?
A Christmas miracle will be very fitting indeed. But whether it can be delivered, that's another question. Dupree might give up a scout here, but that's the discipline we're talking about.
I mean, the guy can get around the entire world with a couple of reindeer and a sleigh. I think it could probably be delivered, Henry.
He does a pretty good job. It's not bad. He's dropped off in the last couple of years. I haven't really received much.
Oh, dear.
But
let's not get too personal.
We'll see whether he steps up this time. It will be 3 players surviving. Maybe not Zeus. He'll get this frag.
I had to look at my screen. Oh, and he went down. He went down. It was a very awkward exchange. Flamey got Device back. I'll tell you that much. You can see it on the big screen, on the screen, within the screen.
Gotta kill those, man.
You gotta, yeah, that's...
You gotta kill those. You just gotta.
He sits at 5 and 17. I started to big him up at the start of this game, and I apparently am mistaken. I think that puts him at something like 9 kills over the last 2 maps.
4 in the second, yeah. We'll look at the positives, though. Right now, not many of them. They're force again. This is done, man, I'm afraid. This is just over, isn't it? Astralis aren't giving this game up now.
Not at this rate. Zeus gives himself up again. He's just already out the doorway. Dupree finds Electronic, and you might as well just count him down with me. 2 rounds, 3 kills to find. Those are your numbers we're counting. Sesame Street, the letter brought to you by A, or the letter is A for Astralis, whatever you want to go with. Xyp9x behind the car. Just shoot into the smoke and hope for another kill. There's 2 there, waiting to flash out. Edward wants to get himself back in position. Xyp9x somehow spots that going at its apex behind and above the smoke. Just waiting. He's removed. 1 to go. Just 1. 1 more round for 2018 for what has been one of the most dominant years in Counter-Strike history by perhaps the most dominant team of all time.
I absolutely agree. What a stunning way to close it out as well. Pure dominance. Just outclassing his opposition. And this is a problem for Navi. Their map pool is in severe need of repair. They can't play Cash. They can definitely not play Duster. This is twice now against top teams. They've been embarrassed on this map. Can they hold on for a couple more rounds? That's really all we have to talk about at this stage. Dupree, they'll take down Edward, another one-on-one sort of challenge where he's got nothing. As we count down now until we'll crown our champions once again. That's going to be Astralis.
It's got to be at this point. Simple, as always, will give it everything that he has, but Scout to work with, still finds the first headshot, nearly gets a second on Kaz. He's tagged though, and re-peeking Device with the same weaponry will hit him twice. Zeus, fair play, finds 1 with the Deagle on Catwalk. It's Dupree to go down on hand from Astralis. He sits on 25 kills, just no gap. Couldn't quite see through it.
How is he alive?
I don't know how he is absorbing all of the bullets, apparently, but finally, Glaive will kill off Flamey. And that opens up B. Rotation from Electronic. Zeus. Not enough HP, but they're going to push. They actually know the rotation's coming in. You're right. They want to get directly in their face and close this. Forget bomb plants. It's all about position. Box for... Ooh, Electronic couldn't find it, and that just signaled the fact that he was there, and it signals the fact that he's likely boosted. This is it, Henry. Say goodbye to 2018.
It's been one hell of a year, but in a very fitting fashion, your champions, ladies and gentlemen, Astralis have found the final trophy of the year. They knocked Navi out of the park in the final match. They didn't even turn up a Duster.